Ain't even picking up my phone. It's hard enough to be, hard enough to sleep, hard enough to be alone. I'm just trying to move along. Sometimes I do and then I don't. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell myself that it ain't healthy. Second guessing it don't help me. I'm so tired of feeling empty. Dry my eyes, it's time to fight. Seems like I'm always against me. Seems like this is never ending. And I refuse to let it end me. Mentally, spiritually, physically, I need my peace. Oh, I need my peace. I wake up every morning and tell myself, good morning, gorgeous. Sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and say, good morning, gorgeous. No one else can make me feel this way. Good morning, gorgeous. Show you up and leave about the room. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous.
Hello, great evening to everyone. Welcome to Circle of Gratitude. Thanks for coming in. As you see, we talk about our topic. What's today's problems? What's the solution?
I tell you what, it's a bunch of them out there.
Absolutely. Welcome, my brother.
Man, Big Brother Shaq, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, nothing but love here, brother. Nothing but love, man.
Shit, I know it, man.
Hey, man, I see you moving around doing your thing, man, and you know what I mean? It's Friday.
Yes, sir. And look, yeah, TGIF.
TGIF, man. Man, party over here, bro. Lord Jesus, man. I'm so glad, man. Friday hit the Friday, couldn't get here fast enough, man. I know you definitely, man. Man. Boy. How was that day, my brother?
It was busy, but it was real productive, real steady, you know. Met a lot of interesting people, you know.
Yeah.
Like I told you earlier, I ain't never seen a dirty house, but has a good odor to it. You know, that was different. Cause when I walked in there, it just smelled like tropical, like it smelled fresh. But everywhere you looked in the rooms, the hallways, you seen piled up clothes and stuff like that, dishes and stuff everywhere. I was like, I say, damn. And y'all don't understand why y'all have rats, huh? But I mean, it do smell nice in there.
Yeah, it smells very lovely, right?
Say, man, how was your day, bro?
Oh man, my day was, man, it was great, man. When I saw moms, you know, and chopping up
How's
with her
mom
like
doing?
She good, bro. She good, man. Like I said, man, you know, but like I said, it was just something that, man, we talk about, man, and we definitely need to address, you know, like a few things, the problems that we have in the day in society, man, like, and see if we can, you know, we can probably, you know, agree on some, maybe can be some solutions. Because man, I'm telling you, man, we can go on and on. This probably be a 20-hour live, man, maybe even 2 or 3 weeks, man, because how many problems we have. But you know,
And I just know you got walkers, you got talkers, you know what I'm saying? But everybody have problems. Everybody, the good guys, the bad guys, everybody got problems. I don't care what you got or what you don't got. Everybody got problems.
Yeah,
And
man.
everybody, I believe, you know, they approach things differently. You know what I'm saying? So,
they're my brother from another. This is the brother I was telling you about right here, brother D.
You know what I'm saying? Good guy.
Oh, they're my brother from
what's happening,
another. This is
Man, what's up,
Green,
man?
Mr. Green. That's what I'm talking about.
Green on the scene.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's my little brother, man, right there, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
Can y'all hear me?
Young, you know, like I said, he at the end of those millennials, you know what I mean?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you
clear.
loud and clear, brother.
Huh?
He at the end of those millennials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, man. Yeah, I hear you clear. I don't know, but you got an echo. I don't know. Do I need to go in here and let me check some things out? Let me see.
I'm a change.
I don't know. You got an echo. I don't know. Do I need to go in here and let me check some things out? Let me see. I don't know. Let me go see if I can do that. I don't know if it's a noise cancellation or something. I don't know. Let me go check it. I don't know. Let me go see if I can do that. I don't know if it's a noise cancellation or something. Let me go check it. Let me go see if I can Yeah, I kind of hear. I still kind of hearing like a little. Okay, now
Did you get it?
Nah, I don't hear it no more. Yeah.
Me either. Sound like it stopped.
Yeah, it stopped. Yeah, it definitely stopped, man.
Uh-huh.
Welcome, my brother, Mr. Green. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you coming in, brother.
That was me with all this extra technology stuff. I just put it up.
Already.
Yeah, man. So we kind of started touching on the topic, man. Huh?
Yeah, delay on my end.
Yeah. Yeah, we start touching the topics, man, about, like I said, today's problems, in your opinion, what you think that might be some of the solutions that we can, as people, we can do, man. I mean, I'd love to hear your insight.
Hey, I had a feedback, and after you talk, you come back and repeat yourself again on the feedback.
Oh, really? Let me see. Let me click this. Hold on just a second. We're having some technical difficulties, but we're gonna get it together. Hold on. Let me see.
And how was your day, Green?
Every day.
Already. No matter what.
Let me see. Is that better or?
Maybe I ought to click off and come back on, because I'm still getting the feedback after we have a conversation.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because like I said, because you are you hearing a repeat anything, Dion?
So I'm still getting the feedback.
Y'all both sound clear to me on my end.
Let me click off and I'll come back on.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, me too. Stop.
Oh, right. Okay, I'll tell him that. Oh, let me go back to my audio and go back to what I was on. Yeah. Erica was telling me, she said that, and she had to tell me that too a couple times because I was brand new to this. She was talking about like if you got two windows open on your laptop, it like say if you open up YouTube and you don't go in through StreamYard, it'll actually, you'll hear feedback because it's two, you got two windows open. Yeah, but till he get back in, man, we're gonna see. So like I said, man, so what do you think is a solution, brother? I mean, just on GP.
Man.
Okay, as your age group, even though that we like I said, you at the last end of the millennials, you know what I mean? So what would be far as your solution that you would think for in your age group of when you came out of school, or you know what I'm saying, that might can, give us some insight on maybe from your opinion.
For finding your solutions to your problems.
Yeah.
Man, whatever you got going on, research it. Look at what's in front of you, what you're dealing with. Look at how it's affecting you. What you need to do. Self-reflect. I mean, it's a lot. Look at what's around you to get to what you need to get to fix your problem.
I agree.
I mean, it's all right. There you go. You sound clear.
You sound clear now. You hear feedback from us?
No, I think what it is, I was on another browser on YouTube.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what the wife said. That's what she had told me. She said sometimes you have I didn't ever know that either. When you have a double so two windows open, whatever, you kind of hear the feedback on
Yeah, that's what I discovered as I was going through the process. Man, that logo show look nice, boy.
Huh?
That logo show look nice.
Hey man, yeah, compliments of somebody I know, man, that did it for me, man. That show looked nice, man. I really liked it. You like that, D?
Yeah, that thing. Oh, I like it.
That's
nice.
The creator right there, man.
Man, yeah.
That's the creator
Did a real
right
good
there,
job.
man.
Did a real good job. That's sharp, man.
Yeah, that's
live, some of the stuff that I do, man.
Nice. What a gift.
Whenever, man, we go back from middle school.
Yeah, man. That's what I told you, man. Many years, brother. Many years, man.
Now, that's cool. And still
take it up, man. Let me hear what y'all talking about, man.
Yeah, well, that's we was just, we were just talking. Finish what you were saying, D, about, self-reflect was the last thing that you stated to us. So
yeah, we were talking about finding a solution to your problem, man. I say, pretty much look at everything that's around you. Look at how it's affecting you. It's just, you got to really go deep with it, as far as what you're doing. I mean, in order to get to the solution to fixing your problem.
Any specific problem that we're discussing?
Nothing specific. I mean, we could definitely bring up, something that how about today's youth? Well, just say today's youth. I use that. I don't know why I use that pretty frequently, but it's like I just see a lot of things going on with our youth today, man. So I think that's where I've been kind of stuck on that. You know what I mean?
I think truth in the matter, I think until we deal with the grown people.
Yeah, now that I do truly agree with.
I mean, until grown people can find out where they're going, we can't take anybody to a destination where we're not sure where we're going. Dealing with youth is like the guys who I deal with that are ex-offenders.
Right.
You have to know their culture. You have to know what you can say to them and how to say it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Youth, like I got a daughter 33 and I got one, 19-year-old in college. She'll tend to be more responsible than the 33-year-old. Because two different mothers. However, I still have to approach them in a certain way to so I can connect with them.
Right.
A lot of times we're so straightforward, blunt as men. We just say how we feel. I have to think about what I'm gonna say to them before I say it. That's even my woman.
Right.
Because we just trying to get to it. We ain't trying to circle around, go around the circle. We just trying to get to it. But one thing that I discovered is trying to be hard as a rock and soft as a dove at the same time.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to get to the point of making sense of what you're talking about, but then don't be so brutal within the conversation, So it depends on, man, that's just broad, What is it about the youth that we can stick on? Because I can go across the board of plenty of things, but
well, I mean specifically, I just we see some of the youth. I've noticed that a lot of them become entrepreneurs, which I commend that. But some of them is just like they misdirected in some type of way, and sometimes it comes from home, sometimes it don't, because we was talking about, we had a conversation about the youth, and really, and it was I was talking to a gentleman, And he stated, you know, and he was trying to figure out where was the disconnect from when we came up versus today's young people. And I told him, in my opinion, I think one part of it was that we didn't have social media either.
No.
You know what I mean? We had to go, if we had to get some information, we either had to go to the library,
Right.
or we had to go to that person that we confide in about situations, but we didn't have that where you could sit behind a keyboard or a phone and talk to somebody and you can't really see their face expressions. Like even this, I can bring up a point that I think that, you know, we were taught as men is like just something simple as when you see a man, you reach out and you shake his hand and you look him in his eye, versus, you know, looking all for whatever, or even the firmness of your handshake. I ain't saying you have to break nobody's hand off, but it was just certain little tedious thing. Because like I said, I've noticed that some young men don't even know how to tie a tie. You know what I mean? How would they know how to even present themselves as you know, as they call it, men? I mean, and that's just my opinion, but you know, I mean, can you elaborate on that one? Either one of you guys, I mean.
Hey, yeah. Well, social media is there. Everything is there, man. I mean, everything pretty much on the plate right now. I mean, we live in the informational time. Anything that you want is right there. We didn't have that back then.
No, I would agree.
You
Yeah, we
know,
definitely did
I mean, with Google by your side, you can't be slow or dumb. I mean, I don't know. Whatever you need, you could pull that up.
Yeah.
You just got to apply yourself, and that's what a lot of people ain't doing. They just, you know, want stuff handed to them. You know, some people will go as far as even, you know, doing underhanded things, you know, just to think they're getting ahead, but really you're not.
Right.
So, you know, like I said, what I noticed is sometimes you just have to lead by example, man. I mean, shit, it's your or. You have to just lead by example, you know. I ain't saying just go out there and, you know, start putting yourself on display, but I mean, wherever you go, where you at that time, you know, just got to lead by example, man.
Yeah.
Walk in his name.
Right.
But
No, we're in a time where nothing looks the same.
nah, you're right.
We're even as simple as to maybe us tying a tie will not be as significant of today than it was when we was younger. Even now, at our age, at certain events, we will put a tie on. However, a tie will not be probably any more that significant to the building process of kids because of the way that we dress. We no longer traditionally, even in churches, suited and booted up anymore.
You're right.
Unless you at a small church,
Right.
that's a traditional Baptist
Community church.
Wearing hats and ties and all these flavor suits and
not the flavor suit. Not the flavor suit.
Yeah, the flavor suits.
Right, right.
I've been there myself, However, the way we was raised, we're still trying to bring that idea to process. And I believe they need more of us to learn some other things that pique their interest so we can reel them into some of the basics. I tell guys, life is almost like building a house. You never build a house from the roof down. You always build a house from the base up. Life is the same way.
I like that. Yeah, right too.
Yeah, it's deep.
From one age to another age, you're working really on the base. Once you start going mid-quarter, you're working on building the walls up, how life's gonna start going to be. As you get around our age, you're gonna start philisating some of that roof.
Right.
And you get in the senior stage, the house is built. You kind of, ideally, you're supposed to be able to coast through life because you done built things up to this process to be able to coast on. Tomorrow,
I like that analogy, man. I do. I like that.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be speaking at a men's conference, and I'm speaking on I am. I think Moses in at the burning bush, and God said, told him to stop. And so Moses had all these things in his mind that God was getting ready to send him over to do something, and he was at the place where he said, well, what if these people ask this, or what if these people ask this? He said, well, tell them, I am who I am. I did a little studying on I am. It's the word being. I am being. God is being. The divine is being. So we're that same person. We're a being. So the moral of the story of I am, back to your positive conversation, we should never be saying I am with any negative thing. I am great. I am good. I am awesome. We should not say I am poor. I am sick. Anything negative, we should not be speaking.
You're right too.
Yeah. And so, with that said, dealing with our youth, it has to be the same thing. We can see all the things they deal with. Hell, they dealing with a whole lot more pressure than we ever dealt with.
I would agree. Yeah.
They dealing with a whole lot more pressure. Yeah.
I mean,
I literally
go ahead,
had to speak to my baby girl today because she's actually in her freshman year, but she was 1 hour away from being a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
So next year she'll skip sophomore and go straight to a junior.
Right.
Yes.
But she had this thing as this idea that me and mama wanted, that she had to do things in a certain way that she had in her mind. And I said, baby, you have already overzealed the thought process of what I had in mind for you.
Right.
What I need you to do now is go to school, do your best, have fun.
That's right.
Forget the pressure. There's no more pressure in this. This is about developing, because I'm not a big educational guy that I'm big on going to college and all that. Not because I did not go. It's just I've learned that it really hadn't helped the most of us that actually went financially.
Right.
However, learning something is great. But my idea is she's going to be a family counselor. And so I'm already throwing to her the business side of it, and how we can get her. So she already a 720 credit score. I've been working on that since she was 16.
Right.
Now we're trying to go. Well, I'm trying to get her mind, and I ain't forcing her. Is to go ahead and LLC her name.
Wow.
So when she's LLC her name, we're gonna already start building business credit in her name.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of her buying her first house, single family home, I want her to buy a duplex or a fourplex. You stay in one
and let it pay for the other.
3 out.
Absolutely.
The other 3 people gonna pay for it.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So we have to reach them in ways that we can, I believe, is to reach them in ways that's going to signify their hunger, where they want to go.
Right.
The kids are they about money.
Yeah,
About
that's all
stuff
they
and
about.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about stuff and money. So for us, it was hooping.
Right.
You
Right.
talked to us about hooping or what? Sports. That's what it's about for us.
Right.
Right now, these kids are about money. They're about their money.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can teach them how to get to that point and then backdoor, with some foundational things, I think that will work out well, because we see them drowning. They don't see that.
Right. Right. Right.
So how do you go get them before they drown?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can already see what they're doing, how they walking, and all that, and where it's gonna end up being.
Right.
So we have to find clever ways how to reach them, in their lane, to get them to back door and say, because now they listening, because you done gave them something they want, and they able to listen now. Otherwise, and you old, you don't know what you're talking about, because these folks on YouTube making this cash.
Yeah.
And I
mean, it's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to, to tell them about, you need to go the old traditional way when it's sit behind the screen and make money.
Mhm.
It's kind of hard to just kind of deter them a different way. Yeah. I agree with you on that.
Well, it's go ahead, brothers.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Like, it's just straight up on the YouTube, everything.
Yeah. So it's just like CNC. I forgot the abbreviation, but it's where people use their computers to facilitate a machine to do something.
Right.
However, if y'all get on YouTube and look up a digital home design, so digital home design, you have somebody with the computer that's actually designing a house out of concrete, not wood.
Mm.
And so these machines, after you had the computer to design the marker of the house, well, they had this machine like they're pouring concrete through the tubes, and it's tracing around the house, on the outside of the house, before the roof come up. So they get to the point now, there's no more lumber and all that for houses to be built.
Right.
So how do we get our kids involved in that?
Right.
And seeing the process of them making money, where that house can be built in probably 3 to 4 days, supposing taking months.
Right.
And then you cutting off 60 to 80 hours of work, of somebody's work, and you only probably need about 3 people to do that job.
Wow.
Because the machine is doing it all.
There's gonna be a whole lot of independent contractors out there.
Hey, but you know what? That's what comes when the technology, man. Technology is steady advancing, man. Very fast.
Yeah, and
very fast.
And so they have this company called Boxable. They just bring the whole house out to you, and they just start flapping it open.
I seen that.
Now, I was in the construction, so I've seen that. I mean, it's like they bring it in piece by piece. They bring up a wall here, put a wall here. They drop it. They bake it on the foundation, and they off and running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's where we have to reach them at in this new world coming. Right. I'm looking at these electrical chargers for these vehicles.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you get involved in that? Somebody got to maintain them.
Man.
I mean,
go to these plants, go to where the action is and see what they doing, what they went to school for.
They say that they ain't going to school for this.
No school.
They ain't
man, how can I be involved?
Look,
how can I be involved? What is this?
There's a company right now that I'm looking at that actually wants you to invest $100 a month, and so when the windfall comes, you'll be in a place where you can go to any store to be able to facilitate or maybe sell this tool this charger in front of their stores or they retail or whatever. I'm looking at it, but I'm not very enthused about giving $100 to them a month, because I've done so many of these things before that I'm looking at if I can just get, because I already have a company, a financial company right now that would finance getting these deals put up. I'm looking at how can I get control, a handle on the machines itself, and being able to put them up instead of giving this cat $100 a month and hoping that the windfall comes. Man, if I can get me 3 or 4 of those, you know, once you do it, then you know what to do with it.
Hey,
but this
Brother
way, our kids.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Not trying to switch, not try to turn the corner a little bit on this, but I mean, because you bringing up some very valid points. This is a point I want to bring up. Now, let's go back to grown individuals, and something that you said that made a lot of sense, because this is a problem that's occurring, and you're given a solution, having a plan B. So I'm seeing that you're speaking on, we're watching it before our eyes, how technology is steadily advancing. That means, as you stated about that company, less man hours, less manpower, you know, using more technology, using more machines. So now that's where we talk about today. It's a problem because people are not seeing it, because they're thinking, I got another 10 to 15, 20 years at this job, but you're not paying attention that you could be replaced in a matter of, at the snap of a finger at this moment. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, they are already making robotics for restaurants to flip the burgers and make the fry machine. They're already doing that now. So as far as, it don't matter what you feel.
No, true. It's gonna keep going.
It don't matter. Yeah, it don't matter what we feel. One of the things that I've been telling my lady about, because she's real heavy in politics. I said, my problem that I have with us, we like to bark real loud. You think because we're gonna bark, we're gonna get people to move. Sometimes it works. But when do you ever see those other people warn us when they get ready to make a move?
Never.
Moving in silence.
They move, just like I was telling you guys about these robots and stuff, Con. They had been already working on this stuff.
Right.
Just like the high school we went to. The city already planned 25 years in advance.
Plans in the making, right?
Yeah. So University of Houston was already trying to take the land even before we got there.
Right.
So, however, since they're planning 25 years in advance, when they started doing the mock around redeveloping the area, we didn't know. And I can share a video with you that you will know Yates ain't nowhere in that facility in that video.
Right.
The pastor at Holman Street was a part of it. Those guys coming to town to do all his work, but he was planning to get his church built and barely have 300, members. What you need a big church for with only 300 members?
Right.
You still got to pay the big old light bill.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, man, when you get talking about problems and solutions for us, it's so big. We just have to narrow what problem that is that we're trying to make a solution for, because we got a lot of stuff that we need to shake on.
And like I said, you made a very valid point, because what's happening is we're so close-minded, because if you mention something about your, you know, what you just spoke to us about, and a person is like, oh, I've been in my job this amount of years, or I've been in my job this amount of years. Oh, I don't want to hear that, you know. Or I've heard people, I don't want to own a business. Oh, that's too hard of a work, you know, too hard of a job. I mean, if you don't think of something like, say, you know, it can be something as far as, you know, the company folding, and like you said, the company could be folding, and you think you just come to work every day, all of a sudden you just find the doors closed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, like they said, he's not going to wait for it. It's just like, I'm gonna just give you a per example. Remember when everybody had to go from analog to digital when it came to TV? They didn't ask us, do y'all want that? Do you want to do this?
You had to move. You had to transfer to that.
Right. And then it's just like same thing about cell phones. Remember, they went from 2G to 3G to 4G down to 5G. They didn't say, well, you know, would y'all like this? No, they continued on doing it. So that means that's just telling us that they're not waiting for us for anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's what and goes back to what I was saying about far as finding other options. Something that can, you know, if it does nothing but to take care of your family or take care of your health, yourself, you know what I mean? But far as I've seen a lot of people, man, they just get so, I guess, complacent, and they don't want to, you know, not everybody's ready for change. But if you're not paying attention, and, you know, we get so, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I think we get so distracted by what's going across seas, or which is need to be addressed. I agree, but a lot of things that's going on, so we get so many distractions around us, where our mind is closed because of that job, and then they'll come in and say, "Hey, Dion, you're doing a great job, man," or "Hey, Brother Green, you know, hey man, you're doing a fantastic job. Next week you don't have a job, or the door's closed on you."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, and then they was talking about, they did a statistic that the average person don't even have $500 in their bank account for savings.
People just, you know, living day to day.
That's statistically. I mean, now I'm not saying I don't be in nobody's finances, but I mean, it would have to be something that they saw to have a statistic about it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I mean, that's just true facts. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, people are, oh well, my tire, I have a bad tire, but hey Green, can you loan me $300, man? Because I need to get me a tire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But preparation, and, you know, preparation is in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, maybe not in that verbiage, but I mean, it's still a part of preparation. We have to prepare, and a lot of us don't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us get comfortable and spend things on unnecessary things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just my opinion, but I mean, I can't vouch for nobody's finances, but I'm just saying.
Well, it's not much of an opinion. You just know the factual is, bottom line, that if we just talk about our people, we're consumers. We're more consumers than anything else, you know. So just like when the pandemic came, they use data to determine what they're gonna do to us, or how they're gonna approach us. So the data shows that if you give us money, we'll go take the shot.
Wow.
That's what they did.
Right.
That's what they did here in Houston. They gave cats $100 to go take the shot, and they took the shot.
Yeah.
Now I'm not in here saying you should not take the shot. All I'm saying is that they know that if you weren't gonna give us no money, we weren't gonna take the shot.
Right.
And so now we go take 2 or 3 shots just to get that $100 2 or 3 times. Not even knowing.
So
Not even knowing what's in it.
Right. Hey, that's facts, bro. That's facts.
Yeah.
Man.
So they use data on us. We never use data.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even know where to get the data from.
Yeah.
We never use data. So in the nonprofit world, in order to go after a grant, it would behoove you to go out there and look at the data, so you can be able to counteract and tell the people why you need this money for this reason. Data will tell you that it is so. because this is the same data that they use anyway. You just doing the research.
Yeah.
So then when you get talking about money, man, more than likely for us, we're not risk takers. Yeah. We want to wait till you do it first and see if it's gonna go down good or not. And then if it go bad, they're gonna say, "I told you so." I told you so.
Everybody got to walk their own lane, man. It might work for me, and if it worked good for me, it might not work for you when you try it.
Yep.
You know, it happens.
You know what, man? Numbers don't lie, man. I'm a part of a platform called Your Own Rescue,
Uh-huh.
and it started you off with $10. Everybody pay $10 one time. You know, we can't even convince black people to give $10 one time to make $7,000.
Hey, you
Just
true.
I mean,
to
that's
make
facts,
$7,000.
bro.
To make $7,000. And then, so how it work is, you come in, everybody come in at $10. Everybody gonna bring 2 people. No, actually 3 people. So those 3 people gonna give you their $10. Now you got 30. You're gonna keep 10 and you're gonna take 20 to the next level. So the next level is you're going to get I think it's 18 or 19 people that's gonna give you $20. The moral of the story is you're gonna get up to about 81 people that's gonna give you $80 just off that $10. You're never paying another $10 just one time. Man, we blow $10 just by going to the convenience store.
Yeah.
It ain't get no return on it. And we won't even want to start that. So if we have the money, if we want $7,000 as a group, we have the money together as a group. We may not have it individually, but we don't believe that we can have $7,000 from $10. It's hard for us to believe it. It's a scheme. See, everything for this is a scheme.
We want individuals. We want to be individuals. We want to be groups.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, but I was speaking to one of my clients, and one of the I was saying that the other, like, Muslim, Indians, whatever you want to call it, they put money together and buy land. They'll put it with a stranger. Oh, I know such and such that y'all could go in with. So they'll put money collectively and buy a piece of property and put some on it. We can't do that. We like to be individuals. Because we don't want somebody else to step above our game. And you're right about that.
Man, but that is a big problem in our community. I mean, in our race, brother. I mean, I don't know. It's like, you know, you got to be the head. I got to be the head. You know, and it's, you know, but people,
man,
try
let
to
me
play
sing in the background, man. Put me in the background.
You know what I'm saying?
Me and
the thing about,
say, man, I'll go ahead on and move the luggage. I'll move the luggage and everything, and I'll drive.
Yeah, man.
I'll lip sync and do the 2-step.
Yeah.
Hey, man, look here, man. That's what's wrong, man. I don't know, man. It's amazing, man. That
look, man, I can donate twice a month, man.
You know, but you know the thing about it is that I've seen though, man, it was so funny, man. Like you know, Green was saying, man, that you know we're not risk takers. You know what I'm saying? But we're not risk takers to a certain extent, because you'll go out there and go buy from Lil John over there, and he got a hot TV. Don't know if he's gonna get caught today or tomorrow. Or you gonna go stand on the corner and you out in say on Main Street in Houston, and you gonna sit there and say, "Hey, man, you gonna buy dope in the middle of the street? Don't know who gonna catch it." I don't get it, man. But you're not a risk taker.
Well, we need the microwave syndrome. We need it done right now. Something that takes us have to wait for it. It ain't happening. So I give you an example. There are some older brothers that I have learned to know, and these gentlemen from 65 to about 75, they've been in the banking industry about 40, 50 years. So what they have done, they have teamed up with somebody that's brokers and created a membership program, because he can't say it's an investment. If you say it's an investment, now you're in trouble. But you can say it's a membership program, because now nobody has to have no license to sell the product.
Okay.
Folks do this all the time. So last year in June, I gave $3,000. 12 months later, I will be receiving $18,000 plus my $3,000 back on some investments with a guaranteed signature contract that I won't lose my $3,000. However, to really work, these cats got to know, for them not to lose my $3,000, they got to be putting this stuff in places where they know that it's going to be a return, not just for me,
right,
for them too.
Right.
Well, several people I know that have money, they just wait until they see my money. Well, I done seen other folks' money already. The guy I'm doing this with, we've been doing business together. So whatever he do, I'm in like two flat tires, because I know win or lose, something gonna come out is that we're gonna learn something or we're gonna make some money.
Right.
These gentlemen go to Hawaii for 31 days on vacation.
Nice.
In their 60s and 70s.
Enjoying
days.
life, bro. Enjoying
life. Because they sharing this information because they well off already. But even with that idea, $25,000 that can give a group of people $71,000 back in 14 months. And you talking about moving and shaking, but most of their people membership is not up.
Well, see, I think one part of that played a part in your success as far as you're making that money is your patience, and you don't have the microwave syndrome, as you state, because people don't get the part of investments. They don't get the part of like even stocks. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got to watch it. I mean, but at the same time, you thinking like, basically to sum it up, get rich quick schemes. They want to get rich quick. You know what I mean? I give you $1,000, it's gonna turn into $1 million tomorrow. You know what I mean? Come on, let's be realistic, man. The only thing I think you could do that, and I don't even think with $1,000 you still can make $1 million. You know what I mean? But I mean, who knows? But to me, I don't know. I don't know our people, man.
It's rough, man. I've been burned, probably just like anybody else been burned. But I also made a whole bunch in return.
Right.
And once you understand, when you start understanding financial stuff, it started making more sense why you take the risk that you take.
Right.
And that's why I had started learning with my daughter, because I had started a year or two ago before the pandemic. I had started learning how to clear credit and do credit on my own to understand it. And then once you in mind looking at how you spend your money, you don't spend it as freely like you would do. I don't go buy tennis shoes like I did when I was young. There's no need for me no more. I ain't hooping like that.
Right.
And I ain't sitting in the line outside the damn Foot Locker for no goddamn $300 and $400 goddamn Jordan.
Well, them days is over with. They getting exclusive offline.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but it's not a priority for you either, though. I mean,
no, it's not a priority.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that plays a big part. You know what I mean?
I don't even have a new car. I let my daughter get the new car.
Right.
That's driving up and down the freeway going back and forth to school.
Right.
Well, hers will be paid off next 2 years. And then I may not still go get a new car. I don't know.
If it ain't what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, bro.
Look, I still got 2 patch-ups out there doing well. They keep on cranking up. So I said, okay, I guess I keep on going.
Right.
Sound like me. That's how I be.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know, I
I,
mean, but
I
you
want a
know,
new one. It just right now it's not as necessary. It's not necessary.
but you know, and I think that plays a big part in I think, and like I said, in my opinion, man, it's sacrifice. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And that's, I think that's a key to a lot of success is sacrifice. And you know what I'm saying,
absolutely.
like you said, you want to be burned. I mean, it don't make sense for you to continue being burned in the same as, because you know some people keep going, oh, that one didn't work, man. Come on, Green, let's try this one. Oh,
Oh
that one
yeah,
didn't
going to
work.
the next one.
Come on, let's go try this one. You know what I'm saying?
Going to the next one. That
Right.
see,
You know
that's
what I'm
me.
saying?
But now, see, me got to say, you know what, Doc? Maybe I'll look at this a little bit more close and not be so free to take the risk.
Right.
Because every risk is not necessarily for you to take.
Right.
If it doesn't line up with everything that's already going on with what I have, maybe it's just not my time. Just like I was telling you guys about the electrical chargers for cars. You know, they got a program. It's basically MLM. They saying it's not, but that a windfall supposed to come in the next in 2040. It's supposed to be at least about 60 to 80% more of these electrical vehicles out here. So it brings opportunity for you or us to be able to put these charger machines out in front of these retail shops or at these gas stations or whatever, and we make a monthly return off of those machines. But are you willing to pay that $100 a month and wait for the windfall to come?
Right.
And so I'm like, I'm not sure about if I want to make that deal, because of all the other information that I have, that I may have the opportunity to just go and find these machines myself, and then get this financial company that I know that would finance it too, maybe the gas station or the hospital.
So basically, you say somewhat share the risk.
I just look at it different, because if what he's doing, he's taking people's $100 a month to be able to market. So you need a lot of marketing money. Marketing is not cheap, none whatsoever.
Oh, not by far. Right.
So in this case, even having a website and trying to SEO it ain't gonna even make sense for you to do that, because these cars are not even really on the road yet. So imagine, you know, how long it may take to get the first, you know, 100,000 of them on the road. But now we're talking about the whole United States that's going to be facilitating this. And these cars don't go no more than 300 miles / maybe 25. So end up at 275 miles, you know, before it's time to charge up again.
Right. Just like the gas up, yeah. Like I found out the electrical car because my cousin, he has a hybrid. When I was up in Chicago, and it was amazing because I'm like, it's like you can't hear him, and then it's like he just he just be riding. But then what he did was he had his job to put a charging station at their home at the facility. Then he had one put in, which he paid a nice little penny to put it in his home. And it's like, he's like, why use gas? I mean, you know, it's electric, you know what I'm saying? And you know, in my way, I thought that at one point, and it was just the way I was thinking, that I saw that when I saw they start making, you know how gas went up to like some ridiculous numbers. And I thought it was like, well, maybe they just trying to push the electrical car, you know what I'm saying? But then after I rode in one and I heard it, I was like, well, man, it kind of makes sense, really. I mean, because, you know, but then it's good for emissions and everything else, and of course pollution. But I just thought it might be
whenever these energy people are trying to make some money, man, they ain't worrying about nothing else but them making money.
That's it.
And when they can find a way that they can boost that price up, and they been able to throw that scary tactic in front of us before they boost that price up, they know we can't do nothing else. We got a car, we gotta go put some gas in it. Yeah. We're gonna bitch at the gas pump, but we gotta put it in there to go to work.
Right.
So anywhere else, you know. So
I mean, it's
You're
the,
at
hey,
that
that's
mercy.
it.
Just at that mercy. The question is, what we gonna do to not
Right.
to be so hardly at that mercy?
Yeah.
So I just put solar panels on my house, just to see the difference, if there will be some difference, and see if I want to get out there and try to put me something out there because I
Y'all
have
keep talking,
access.
bro.
Yeah,
No, go ahead. Keep talking. I'm finna do something real quick. Go ahead.
Chris, what you do for a living, man?
Chris,
Chris,
unmute yourself.
Chris.
He probably he might not pay. Can you hear us?
is she fine?
Chris.
You.
Look.
He ain't paying attention. Well, he has his own pest control company too, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tell him
He
to
just
act like he
looking.
talk. Tell him to talk.
Yeah, you.
He must be He's driving, I think.
Oh, yeah,
That's
he
what it is.
driving.
I got
And
an LLC and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
I got my LLC too as well.
The night will you can sleep.
how far are you from sitting still, Chris? Boy, because boy, look here, you making me dizzy over here, bro. I'm like, oh, you making
Yeah,
it dizzy, man.
that's my boy Chris. Yeah, man, he do pest control, man. He actually got me off
We're-
to pest
We're
control.
taking him to some medicine in his house. Yeah, I've been doing pest control going on 24 years,
Oh really?
but I've been on my own for like 3.
Okay.
All right, I'll be
So you have your LLC. Have you started working on the business side, your business credit?
He went to mute again, huh?
Yeah. He probably can't hear me because him froze.
Yeah, because like he driving.
D, how long you been in it?
About
No, yeah.
5 years.
I said, where's Shanko?
Oh, I'm here. I'm here, bro.
Yeah, I've been doing. Okay. Yeah. I got my LLC about 2 years ago, and I learned a lot about the LLC, dunce number, all that.
Okay.
It's working out in my favor so far.
Good. You started working on the business credit side of it?
Hello?
Have you started working on the
Yeah,
business
it's
credit
working out
side?
so far. I mean, I'm feeling. Oh yeah, I'm working on that right now. Well, the credit, every business credit comes with your credit. So I got I got my dunce number. I got 2 lines of credit. I need 2 more, like a Sam's Club. I think I got Uline, some other one. They tell you the easy ones, but most of them they just want you to subscribe to something. Some of them want you to buy something, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, you have to subscribe to get something. You have to give to get something. That's what I learned in the
Right.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Do
I'm
you,
working on it. I am working on it.
You guys have Navy Federal that way?
Navy Federal.
Yeah, no, I don't have Navy Federal. That's the way everybody's telling everybody to go. Navy Federal is the kind of easiest way to get it. They say do it at a certain time, day or something. I was watching on YouTube and stuff like that. But how would you go about getting Navy Federal? Like getting a bank account started with them? Because I got a bank account with my bank. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can go there. They're asking for a veteran. You can just say you have a family member that's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a family member that's a veteran?
Oh yeah, my dad. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
so
people.
you just basically say, I'm a member. My dad is a veteran, and then you can create your account for $5.
Yeah,
You can do
I
that
got
online.
we
Okay.
got Navy. We got Navy. Me and Erica got Navy.
They're credit friendly. They'll help you build your business credit and personal credit.
Damn.
There you
Yeah.
go, D. There's some nuggets, brother.
Yeah,
Can
they'll help you.
Hello.
There's some more out there.
Navy Federal.
Yeah, ideally, your
Hmm.
personal will be the Ignite in most cases, up until
Yeah,
you
I got
get
you. I'll do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Then
man.
American
Love,
Express.
he dropping some nuggets, boy.
American
Yeah.
Express is also a good way to go once you get the business credit up where you have a paydex score.
Yeah.
Yeah, Erica got she got American Express. She got Navy. We got Navy. That ex-wife of mine, jacked my credit up, so I gotta go another way with mine. So
No, you just need to start working on it.
yeah.
That's all. And if you already got stuff on there, leave it be. Don't go negotiate none of that. Just start disputing
Right.
it. And so
Yeah, man.
you pull it,
You
you
dropping some
pull it,
nuggets, brother.
and see how many names and addresses you have on there. You need to get all those. You need to get down to one address and one name, one phone number, and one job. That's what you need to clear out first. Then you go back door, and once you get that cleared up, then you go freeze LexisNexis, SageStream, ARS, and CoreLogic. Those are once you start sending those letters, they're gonna go back to those little bitty deals and try to confirm that if that's your account or not. The Credit Fair Act says that you have to prove that that's your credit. That don't mean that it's not. They have to be able to prove it. If they can't prove it, they need to take it off your credit report.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Brother Green over there dropping some nuggets, bro.
You freeze those 4 things, and then you go out doing your dispute, and that's how you clear credit.
Okay.
Which they charge you a bunch of money for because we don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
that's that. I mean, but
and so what's that? Lexington Law Firm. They clear credit, but they're gonna do one bureau and one account at a time.
And that takes forever.
Oh yeah, that keeps you a customer.
Yeah.
At $100 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you know the game, you do it.
Yeah.
So with that, your credit can go bad, but if you have learned how to do that, you can always go back and clear it up and get back on task.
They go to solution to the problem. Okay.
Yeah.
There go the solution to the problem, brother.
So
but I think,
and that come with the mindset. You got to have your mindset and focused on what you're doing.
Well,
but
for wanting to be an entrepreneur, you got to find out how you're gonna get that money that you need to make your business flow.
Yeah.
And so my credit was towed up, and so even when our kids or even grandkids at 16 years old, man, we can start working on their credit.
Yeah.
We can start working on their credit. Especially if our credit's straight, we can make them a person that can be on our account.
Yeah.
Right.
And they will get the same history.
Right.
So right now, my baby girl got 720 credit score, My oldest one don't want to go through the process. So I ain't putting you on nothing until you want to go in the process. We gotta go through the process. The baby girl own it.
And that's a great thing, man. You know, like I said, but you teach them young, and that's where because you know what I mean, because it's just like anything you learn from young to older, and then now you know how to not only build your credit but also to maintain your credit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just having the reinsurance that you can go back and you don't have to depend on nobody to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
And you don't have to pay nobody to do it. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I had a kid in high school. I've been on child support for 30 years. So that between being on child support and being on back child support twice, at 14 grand a piece. But right now, I ain't trying to hear nothing. So everybody talking about they don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's just all you.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I done did enough of whining folks up, trying to come on, man. We can do this. We can do this. Mm-mm. If I gotta go roll with the old cat, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. And whoever else want to come, more the merrier.
We're gonna slow down, man. Let me get in the back.
Yeah, you better jump.
Yeah, I come. Yeah, come.
You better jump.
Hey, man.
And this thing, man, none of this stuff I can do on my own. None of us can do anything by ourselves. It's impossible to live a lifestyle that ideal I think that we want to live. You can't do it by yourself.
Right.
You can't. You know, I was talking to Shaq a couple of weeks ago, and my girl just got her doctorate, and we've been together 12 years because I refused to get married because I've been divorced. And after I got through talking to you, Shaq, about it, maybe a couple of days, a week ago, she started talking about the nonprofit. And
oh,
she
now
got
she's talking about
yeah, she talking about getting in, you know, putting some sweat equity in. I'm like, who are you? I've been waiting
It took time for it to come around. That's all. It took time for it to come around.
Been waiting on this 12 years.
Right.
Think I don't feel.
You know what? So I think sometimes that light bulb goes off, man. It's just like, you know, you tell your kids so many things so many times. I'm not saying that a grown woman or a grown man ain't a kid, but sometimes it maybe that one time that light go bing. Okay, well, yeah, you know what? That do sound like something that I could get into. I mean, but
what a part of whoever got the problem, are they willing to hang on?
Yeah.
While the other person is getting what they need, you know, and then you still don't know if they ever gonna get, you know, the scenario or be able to gel together to make some other things happen, you know. So it's crazy. It's
mean,
life.
Hey Dion, it's life. Hey Dion, you know, I'm gonna tell you this, D. You know, when you start talking about you be talking to me about different things, that brother Green, he deep too, bro.
Yeah, I'm hearing him. I'm hearing him.
He probably be kind of on the same level you on.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm hearing him, man.
Yeah, man. So I mean, you know, like me, I'm fortunate. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm fortunate by 100% of where I came from my first marriage to my marriage now, bro. It's like night and day, bro. You know what I mean? Truly like night and day. And I'm fortunate.
Like but all our course is different.
Yeah.
You know, if I had it your way, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Probably wouldn't have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so our course is different.
Right.
You know, and based on what we went through is what created us today as grown men.
Right.
Is whether if you don't want nothing, everything's gonna be wrong, man.
Right.
If you don't want nothing, it ain't nothing for you to talk about it.
Right.
Young cats, 27 years old, still talking about the white man keeping them from working. Because he ain't making a $17 an hour job. Yeah, I know. I know. No, it's not so.
Hey,
The
man.
nigga think he already making $17 an hour and they ain't got a diploma or no damn driving license.
Oh,
So you ain't
the
got no
white
time
man.
talking to nobody stupid like that. Waste your time.
But that kills me, man. Talking about, yeah, man, the white man. You know, we used to hear, power to the people type situation. But these cats be, man, the white man did this. White, come on, man. Let's be realistic, man. Come on, man. The white man ain't tell you. Like I said, it's a lot of things that the white man don't tell you go out there and go rob nobody. Man, the white man don't go out there and tell you go out there and sell drugs. Come on, man. You can't stop making excuses, man.
Yeah.
Stop making excuses. And there's so many times I've heard that. Like I said, fortunately, I ain't never been no trouble, man. I ain't had to go to no jail, man. And that came back from my foundation. You know what I'm saying? As far as my mother, my father. Hey, this brother knew my dad. You know what I'm saying? And man, my daddy didn't play that crap, man. I ain't going out there and do no dumb crap, man. If I do, I'm gonna have to deal with him, and I didn't want to deal with him. You know what I mean? He didn't play. But there again, the core of what he gave me as a man. Now, like I said, I could be farther than I am now, you know what I'm saying? And it's no excuse. But far as I have no limitations in what I can do right now. You know what I'm saying? And I thank him for that. And I thank my mother for showing me the love. You know what I'm saying? And it helps me when it came to my, loving my wife now. You know what I'm saying? Because I tried it at first the first time, it just didn't work out. You know what I mean? Because she was on a whole different level. You know what I'm saying? Like Green wasn't around me when I was married to my first wife, but Dion was. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows she was a piece of work, bro. I mean, oh my God, man. And
by that time I was probably when
What
you
say
was married to
came
her.
out strong?
Man, look, man, let me tell you something, man. We have to, like I said, I don't try to be no relationship expert or nothing like that, man. But
Can't live with him, can't kill him.
Yeah, but can't live with him, can't kill him. You're right. But you know what I mean? But like I said, the funny thing about it is, you can ask a woman, what is your expectations of me? And they gonna tell you some of them gonna tell you this out of the world type. Oh, well, you need to be this way. I want a man this. And I'll say, what do you have to offer? I mean,
she need a machine so she can build that.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I just don't get with some women, not all, but some. You know what I mean? What is it that what do you want? What do you want from your man? But you can start having, you go watch TV and you say, oh, I want this man that can pamper me, or I got to pay you for your time. What? I got to pay you for your time? What? What is that? Yeah. What is your time? What does your time consist of? And how do you put a price on your time? Now, I can put a price on my time to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, as what you're doing, bro, Green, you giving advice, you giving this, you're giving out nuggets on how people can better themselves. That's giving time for your time you're getting paid. But what? We sitting there talking about, hey.
The funny part about this?
What's that?
Is that I get this information away all the time, and they don't even go use it.
I believe it. Oh, I truly believe it. Oh, I believe that 100%.
And the people that pay for it go use it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's crazy, bro. It's like, how do we, our people, man. I don't know, man. Not everybody, but man, it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know where their mindset is, man. Like I said, I mean, we know today's times, like we just talked about earlier, technology studies advancing, and jobs are coming up. Basic. I'm gonna tell you something that blew my mind. My mom, when she had her stroke, bro, they had a robot. Literally, they had 3 robots rolling around with a screen, looking at my mother from a million miles away. Like, oh, so how you doing, Miss Shackelford? Whatever, they asking her questions and all stuff. The robot running around, moving around on the other side, reaching out, you know, like taking up vitals by putting it the thing. I'm like, wait a minute. So you're trying to become so man medicine is it's gonna be non-existent also? Or like we were I went to my little job, we had a like bowling thing. A robot brought us our food.
Man.
So now what? You're eliminating waitresses and you know hospitality and type of stuff. People got to wake up.
We
man.
already don't talk to each other.
Well, yeah, that's true too. I agree. But you ain't got. But see, thing about it is, you know, people are like, oh, I ain't got to tip the robot. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, but you're not that. It's right in front of your eyes, right in your face, man.
Being replaced.
You know what I'm saying? And people thinking like, oh, it can't happen to me, or it won't happen to me, or you know, I you know, like I can, you know, I'm the person that does a great job, and you know, what else, man? A lot of times they'll tell you straight up, they look you right in your face and say, hey, it ain't personal, it's business. So if I can take a robot that probably as overhead might cost me $200, $300, maybe even a couple grand a month, you know, to maintain, if that, when it's brand new, now I ain't got to pay benefits. I ain't got to worry about you calling in sick. You know what I mean? It's so crazy, man. They showed
you talking back?
Huh?
You talking back?
No, yeah, right. And you know, and the crazy thing about it, I sat there and I'm finna trip you out, man. We sat there and watched. They had a simulation, like they showed us a video one time. We was at and it seemed like it was giving you a sign that they had one guy operating at a mine, operating 5 machines with a joystick. He was loading the truck. He was dumping the truck. He would say the excavator was dumping and putting it in the back of the truck. Then he gets in there. He hit the remote. He moved the truck. Then he dumps it in front of the dozer. He clicks over. He pushes the dirt. Then he had another one where he hit the roller. The roller rolls over the dirt. You know, I'm like, one guy. So that means he didn't. So basically, five people that are heavy machine operator. You then eliminated 4 people. You got 4 machines running with one person. One person. When they start talking about 18 wheelers driving themselves.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Bro, that is crazy, man.
It's on its way, baby.
Oh yeah, but and like you said, it ain't waiting for nobody. But what I'm saying is, what you're dropping and telling people and waking people up and making them understand, finding other ways to make income. You know what I'm saying? Because even if your job do last for the next 15, 20 years, okay, that means the other extra income that you have, it'll be what is called extra. You know what I mean? But if you're not preparing for that situation, then you're gonna say, well, baby, today I lost my job, and but I don't know how we're gonna pay the mortgage. Because you ain't saved nothing, or you're so house heavy where you're in a home where you're paying $3,000 a month, but you really can't afford that. When last time you been on a vacation? Well, we can't go on a vacation, man. I got this mortgage, but I got a 5-bedroom house. It's 3,500 square feet. You bring them over there. What happened? Hey, man, let me go get this chair out the garage, man, so you can sit on, because I ain't got no furniture for you to sit on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess there again, like Brother Green said, man, it's priorities. You know what I mean? What is your priority set? Like you said, do you want a brand new car? I want a brand new car. I think everybody on here probably would like a brand new car, but is it a priority? Is it a necessity right at this moment? No. Most of the things I think is more wants than needs. You know, and I see a lot of people think about right here, right now, versus what's going to happen the next. Now, yeah, you can't. If something happened, you can't take it with you. I agree. I understand that. But you know, but still, I mean, but you live another 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Like we were speaking on before. You know, hey, we're going to be the elders. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? You like you said, them older cats, man, they 60s and 70s, man, they out there living the life, man. That's the life that we all should get. We should want to live.
True.
But how many times have you then walked into a Walmart? I'm telling you, I was blown away when I went to a Wendy's, and this woman had to be every bit of 70. May I take your order? Wait a minute. Well, you 70? And I heard someone over time because I didn't want to just ask her, how old are you, by chance? You know what I'm saying? I don't know her situation. I can't judge her on her situation. But it's just like, it's amazing. What did D keep falling off? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know, but it's amazing that you see people and at certain ages, you know what I'm saying? But we have, I mean, like I said, and you probably guys can agree. Like me talked about this last time on our line, Chris. Remember when we talking about what the opportunities that is saying now? So I'm gonna switch back to subject. And I'm skipping all the play, but I just gotta go back to this because Chris, I think you came in last. Because I was asking Green here. I said, well, what is it that we can do to reach out to our youth? And the points that he made was very valid. He said you got to find that niche, you know, basically saying find that niche, find ways to reach out to them. So because you're thinking about our ways, like our parents, and when we grew up, I think in our way that we just sat back and said, okay, this is the way, you know, how they raised their home. We had to abide by their rules. We could stay in their house. We had to abide by the rules. Now it's like we have to reach out because there's so many other influences around. It ain't just like I told you, like when back in the day, if we wanted to find out something, we either had to go to the library, or if we wanted to talk to somebody, we had to meet them at the park or go play some ball like we did, or, you know, whatever. That's how we, you know, or went to each other's homes or whatever. But now everybody can sit behind a computer or sit behind a game console. That's where they at, man, with it, man. You know what I mean? So, I mean, so, and he made very valid points. I mean, if you can kind of tell him what we was talking about, Green, because, you know, I don't want to mess you good words.
You're doing a good job, man. You're doing a great, excellent job.
Yeah, man. But you know, it's just like things like that we, you know, we get from, man, and he made a very valid point, because I'm gonna tell you, Chris, I'm gonna give you a little background on my brother right here, man. We played ball together, man. We went from middle school, man. We played ball all the way through high school and everything. And this brother, he works with, you know, like he does a lot of nonprofits, and he also worked with ex-cons to rehabilitate them, man. So which is a very positive thing, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he got a lot of knowledge, man, as far as that, because I think, to me, not only that we have older ex-cons, we got young ex-cons too, because they're getting in trouble just as well as the older guys.
That's true, there.
So
it's just a matter, because we all want to live. You find a guy, you can teach him how to live, where he don't have to go back and do what he was doing to survive. You're more than likely put him in a place where he'll forget about the wrong, unless he just got that fetish that he just had to be in the hood. He has to do it. Most of my successful stories is guys that spent 15, 20 years. And these guys was already leaders, even when they was in the street. So when they made up their mind they were done, it's nothing that I had to do. All I had to do is just direct them into the resources to help them get to the destination of what they're trying to get to, and just be there for some moral support when life doesn't hit them, hit them in the gut, and he's trying to find it's kind of hard to get up that day. Then I become that moral support and tell him he got to get on up. because a lot of guys don't have support. And then so who do we lean on? You know, so I started this because of a divorce, and started understanding that, you know, man, who do we have? You know, if you down, if a black man's down, who do we have? Who can we go to?
Right there, you're right there.
So I started this based on with that idea. I was already at a church that I was already attending. Even the men, they were good guys, but even them didn't know how to cultivate me, because traditionally, as black guys, no matter we at church or not at church, we had to learn how to cultivate one another. You see other cultures, they'll kiss each other on the cheek, or they'll show you ways how to make some bread and tell them to come on. Or other coaches going through situations in their family, and then they'll come beside them and walk them through the process.
Yeah.
And I know it's more to us than that, because we're not as easy open to share our information, which is I don't understand where we got it from. However, that's what we're dealing with.
Right.
But yeah, it's nothing that I really do outside of being a support and giving resources that will help them get to the destination. And I also learned that my purpose is not to make them be who I want them to be. My purpose is to try to figure out where they're trying to get to and find some guidance, whether if I have it or somebody else has it, to get them there. I don't have to be the smartest person. I don't want to be the smartest person.
Right.
I just want to get him to a destination as a man, so he can feel good about himself. And then, you know, I got one right now, a cat right now, probably about 15, 20 years older than me. He spent some time, he had an assault on the elder, which was his stepdad. And he had some build up in all that time that his stepdad was doing something to him, pissed him off, and he punched him.
Wow.
Knocked him out. And so he ended up getting assault on the elder. So he couldn't get a job. You know, we couldn't get a place to stay. And so what I did, I spent the next 4 years just giving resources, you know, things he can do. And he took it. One of the challenges that he had, and I had to learn how to get out the way, is that he was his own man in spite of.
Right.
He didn't want to take any real advice unless he was just assed out. You know, and so I had to be able to accept that.
Right.
And then even today, you know, he still had the anger inside of him. And I talked to him about go and get some help, but he don't think there's a problem. He think he got it in control. Well, the other side of that is that I do know that he don't have a personal relationship with Christ.
Right.
Which would ease the pain and the idea of that anger that he's dealing with, and he'll find another way how to look at his situation. It's just something about scripture and being preached to.
Right.
When the man of God is giving you something that God gave him, that it seemed like it's targeted right at you at that time, that will allow man to look at himself different or look at the situation different, to be able to make a change, you know. And so a lot of times with our ego and our pride, as my dad would say, EGO, edging God out.
Wow. Wow.
I
like that. I like that.
Repeat that, Green.
I like that.
Repeat that for me, Green.
EGO, ego.
Yeah.
Edging God out.
Edging God out. I like that.
Wow.
My dad always used. Now my dad knew scripture back and forth, but he would never go to church.
Wow.
Yeah, he knew it backwards and forwards, but he'll never go. And so part of what you hear out of me, because they called him the philosopher in the street, because when my dad passed, man, my dad as a little boy had already built a big wheel with wood.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I discovered at his funeral. He was already building stuff. They call him a mini genius in his own right, that he took all that information with him to the grave.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
You know what? That funny thing you said, that I can't remember that saying. They say, you know where all the smart people at, or
In the
where all
grave.
the knowledge, or where the richest people at, or something like to that
Yeah,
fact.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, and they said in the grave. That's where all the knowledge, and that's all the rich is at. The rich people. You know what I mean? It's like, wow.
True.
That is, I mean, you know, but like I said, what he does, Chris, man, I'm telling you, I commend his brother, man. I mean, I applaud him 100% because to take time out to better, because they still part. They don't. Some of these guys don't know how to get back into society because they have been, you know, incarcerated for so long, and for him to set up, you know, to take his time out and set up programs and give them the resources. That plays a big part because that can help the society because, you know, whereas other people is judging him, he's not, you know what I mean? And that maybe they, like you said, they didn't have that person to lean on. Just like I mentioned,
Well, let's counterpart that a little bit. There is a judgment. It's just because I built relationship, and so they know where it's coming from.
Okay.
They know where it's coming from. They know it's not coming from, you know, trying to tear his knees from up under his leg.
Right.
So one of the things that we're also challenged with is that we use the judgment piece to counteract what we don't want to do for the most cases. There are some people try to tell you things that may not necessarily be true. However, I have learned that when you giving people advice, be sure they asking for your advice before you give it.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you give it when they ask you for it, you don't have to worry about them having their knuckles up trying to block everything you're saying, because now they asked for it.
Right.
But if you just intrude in people's life by giving your opinion, then it's a whole different ball game at that point. You know, because I didn't ask you for your opinion.
Right.
You don't even know me.
Yeah.
Right.
There we go. You're right there.
Yeah, man. I agree. I agree with you 100% on that. Yeah, man. You're right. I mean, and
so
I think. Go ahead, bro.
The judgment has to happen. If the judgment don't happen, we don't turn.
Right.
Or we don't see it in another way.
Right.
It has to happen.
Right.
But if we look at scripture-wise, when they're talking about the judgment, they're not talking about not telling people they're doing wrong. They're more talking about us instead of pointing our finger at the person after we done told them that is wrong. And then next week we want to tell them they're still doing the same things with our hands. That's when it becomes to be the judgment. But correcting people is not judgment. We all need correction.
Right.
Judgment come after the fact. You done told me what to do. Now, if I ain't willing to change, well, you got to let me go through my course.
Right.
You got to let me go through my course and then love him while you're going through the course. Because if you don't, he can't hear no more.
Right.
Because everything you say now, he blocking it.
Yeah. You know, funny thing you said that, man. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, brother.
No, you were saying something. I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna speak after that.
No, funny thing you said that, man, because I was telling, like, you know, it's just like when you the approach. Some people's approach comes to when they say, if I come to, like we was explaining, we was talking about that. Matter of fact, I was talking to Sister Leslie and him. We were talking about. I told her, I said, sometimes, you know, when you see a person, it's just like if you're in a discussion or talking to someone, and that person, you know, like certain point, it goes back to what you were saying about it when you're talking to another person and they're in a heated type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it goes back to when you say, you know, if I ask for your, you know what I'm saying, you know, you try to force upon them, not saying you're trying to do it in malicious intent, but sometimes you have to take a step back and wait for them to come to you and ask that. So that's why I said it was kind of in the same aspect of it. You know what I mean? So that
Let me tell you,
huh?
Let me tell you a psychology trick.
Yeah.
Drop them nuggets, bro. Drop them nuggets.
So even if you haven't even done this before, even if you haven't experienced it, you can still say you have. So, Chris, brother, I was hearing you what you said, but you know, man, I had experienced some of the same stuff, and you know what I did? This is what I did. And then, man, the after effect of, man, I end up getting this in return because I actually looked at it in a different way, and I got these results.
Even if you hadn't went through it, wow, that's
so
awesome.
The psychology in it is that I never told him that he was wrong.
It goes
and
back
I made
to
it about me and not about him.
Yeah.
It'll work every time. And you look, Doc, you may have never experienced it, you may have never dealt with it before, but I guarantee you, if you take that approach and make it be about you and not about them, they can hear.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Every time.
That's powerful. Yeah, I agree.
And then so the other side of it, if they don't, you'll know it. Then you'll know you just need to bag up. So it's really a conversation that you're really not trying to be right. You're really just trying to have a conversation. Because most of us, when we're having these talks, we want to be right. And when you want to be right, you never listen to any rebuttal. So I got a rebuttal for both of y'all right now. Well, maybe not a rebuttal. Maybe a question that may come up to being a rebuttal. Do you think your wisdom expires?
I wouldn't think so. No.
Neither.
I mean, because and the reason that I say that is because I feel that you grow as the older you get, you grow more wisdom as you progress. You know what I'm saying? So,
but what if you're not growing?
Yeah, well, that's a different ball game, bro. You know,
that's a good answer, Green, because you're right there. I believe you. Yeah, because a lot of times people stay still and they think, "Oh, I'm wise," but they just stand still.
Yeah.
So it's just like the tire situation we were talking about. You know, that was in our era. Is that really effective of today for the younger guys? Do they really just need to know how to tie a tie?
No, not really. I mean, I get your point, but what I'm saying, I just brought it to the point of the basics.
I know why you brought it, because that's the way we was raised.
Right.
I know why you brought it that way, and it ain't nothing wrong with it. But how do we reach them at the age that they're at now? We fit them. We try to talk to a 20-year-old guy. Put a tie on.
Why I need a tie?
Right.
I mean, but you know what? But see, the way you spoke on it and how to reach the younger generation, it made a lot of sense. And Chris, I mean, and like I said, it made a lot of sense, man. It made, and I don't know if Leslie is she in here, she can hear it now. Can you kind of tell them a little bit what we were speaking on and how you put it in, and it made a lot. I mean, I agree with him 100% on that.
I was just looking at maybe how to reach the younger generation, because everybody's on YouTube and the younger generation is is real heavy on making that paper, getting that bag. How do we be able to bring in information for them that will help them get that bag, and then we can back turn with the foundation. And so I was talking about the foundation because I talked to some young brothers. You don't create anything like we want to build a house. You don't build a house from the roof down. You build it from the base up.
Yeah.
And our life is like that too. You can't come into life at 20 years old and act like you 50. As far as information and knowledge concerned. So there's maybe to a 1 to 18 where you're trying to figure this base out of your life. Then you have from the 19 maybe to the 30 where you're starting to fulfill the base. The 30 to about the 40 stage is when you start building the walls up. And then as you come up to the top, that's when you buy in at your senior years of retiring. And that's kind of a model that I have created in my mind where we should be at in certain parts of our life, just like building a house.
Right.
And so our approach to them has to be different. It can't be traditional, what we know, where we come from. We got to meet them what they want.
Brother.
Yeah. So
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm listening. Hello?
I hear you, Chris. You taking too many notes down, man. I had to charge you for this.
Huh?
I said, you taking too many notes over there, man. I had to charge you for this.
No, I'm listening, but I mean, my view on the youth of the day is that a lot of times, man, a lot of these youth, man, you can't even spark up a little bit of conversation about anything. They thinking you a weirdo or you weird or how you doing? They think that's weird, you know?
Yeah, they're not used to it.
You know, if you ain't on how can you put it? How can I put it? If you ain't that street dude or you ain't that street dude, they don't want to listen. But if you some will, some won't. But
and then the only ones you worry about, the one that will.
Yeah, true.
Now there are some ex-offenders do me, and there's some that don't.
Yeah,
I only deal with the ones that want to deal with me.
Yeah, because
I ain't in the business of begging you to help you.
Right.
True, because a lot of them, man, I've run across. I mean, a lot of them they want to listen. A lot of them don't, but a lot of them gonna look at your shoes first. You know, they look you up and down to see where you're correct. I'm like, and I always tell them, look here, man, you don't have to look like $1 million to be $1 million. I said that's what's wrong with us today. You know, we want to look like $1 million, but we ain't got $1 million.
Show them one of the bank accounts with them zeros on it.
Yeah,
they ain't gonna look at shoes no more.
Oh, you the hood. I call it you the hood fool with the nice car but living in the shack.
Yeah.
Nah.
Hey, we have a lady on the panel, man.
Okay.
Sister Leslie. And man, let me tell you, bro Green, me and her, we got on some of these lives, man. We had some great conversation because she gives her viewpoints and she admires us as men. So I want to welcome her. Thank you, Leslie, for coming up. And definitely, you know, hey, if you have something to speak on, hey, we here.
Oh, how you doing, Chris? How you doing, Brother Shaq? And I don't know the other gentleman.
Brother Green.
Brother Green, how are you?
Doing wonderfully great. And yourself?
Okay, thank God we're here. You know, I couldn't keep quiet because I was enjoying the conversation. You know, I usually sit back when the men talk, and I was intrigued by what Brother Green was discussing about how to help the men. And then I came in, you know, and I had to click, you know, stop what I was doing and come sit down. And when he started discussing his father, the philosopher, and how he built that big wheel by himself, right? Is that what you were saying, from scraps?
That's what I said. Yep.
Well, we must have had the same daddy, because folks used to laugh at my father because he built a bicycle just from pieces, scraps, and everything back in the day. And I guess, I'll just say he called himself from the Bigfoot country, we Geechees. So, maybe that, that's how he was able to do what he did. And it wasn't about the formal education. It's about taking those scraps and creating something. Because I think every person has a gift, but we have to figure out how to tap into, or we have to help them figure out what that gift is. Okay. So when you mentioned about how you're reaching the young men, I remember how we were raised, and the stories that the elders were talking. And I put in the chat, you work the land, meaning you plant seeds, you plant little sprouts, and you nurture it, water it, hold that row, and then watch it grow. When I noticed that, when not just men, men, but I guess your men, when they are involved in that, they might have a different kind of feeling for their environment. If you follow what I'm saying. And I believe now, today, I believe if you go to the supermarket, look at the prices. But I bet you one thing, I learned how to grow my own onions, my own scallions. I know how to, I just look it up. I know what to do with how to do the aloe. There's certain things that we can do to save money and to share with the neighbor. Because when I grow my onions, or my garlic, I have enough to share and to have healthy meals. And and there's some kind of a pride. So I'm not just saying business or making that money. It's kind of like teaching them how to fish.
You know what, Leslie, and I would really I agree with you on that. But here goes the thing, and I get Brother Green's what his thing is, because see, that was the question that we had, and the question I asked him early prior before you. I don't know how long you've been in, whatever, but I asked him, well, how can we reach out to our youth? And that's why he was dropping. Sorry about that, y'all.
That's okay.
He was dropping knowledge, about how do we reach out to you, because because he brought it up again about how I say, well, they don't even know how to shake a firm hand or either tie a tie. But like he stated, he said, well, can you reach the youth or younger men by teaching them how to tie a tie or to give a man a firm handshake? Today's youth is a lot different than it was when we were young, because I could even and pretty much Green can vouch for this, and Brother Chris, that when we came up, the older gentlemen, that even if they did go to prison or they were successful or whatever, we listened to them and we took in what they said, including our parents. You see what I'm saying? But today's time, how do you get them to listen?
Okay, Brother Shaq. I'm trying to see if a little bit off on the. Okay, all right. I had to switch the screen into the StreamYard screen, so because your voice is matching, your mouth moving.
Right.
Okay, sorry if I interrupt.
No, you're fine.
I came from, my father loved us, but not when we were growing up by him saying, I love you, kissy, huggy. Wasn't like that. It was that old school. The father was the head. My mother, that was my mother's thing. Even if we can cook just like my mother, but that was mama's cooking. Okay, until we got older. And that's when he said, I love you, and this, that, and the other. My brother learned to tie his tie by watching my father. My brother knew how to sweat that pipe by watching my father. We didn't ever have any man come, you pay him to come, handyman, do work in our house or work on that car. You watch, that's how we had to do. Same thing with me, how I fry my chicken, and I could fry it. Okay? I'm proud of my chicken. as I'm supposed to be, for example. But my mother told me, watch me. She never gave us that recipe. But we have other recipes, but that is what we're supposed to do. And as long as your children are watching you, or the youth are watching you, they don't have time for that device that just went off as you and I were speaking. I don't even remember to charge my cell phone. I don't. On Fridays, this is me. This is my day. So I saw a movie back in the day. I don't know who the star was, but he decided to take the children on a field trip. They were teenagers. Take them on a field trip. If you don't know how to tie a tie, bring the tie. Came to class or wherever they gathered, and they all walked and went to see maybe an opera or wherever they went to a restaurant. If you expose them or take them to the location, maybe something will happen. I don't mean to talk about, that much, Brother Green, but I like what you're saying. But sometimes people are afraid to talk. I see the youth don't know how to communicate because of the devices. So we have to just
and that's a and that even carry on with some of us adults that don't know how to communicate as well.
Yes.
Sometimes because of those devices. There's just some people that we're gonna be able to reach, and there's some that we're not. And that's not our problem. Our only problem that I believe is the people we can reach. We still have to find significant ways, like the time of the era of your dad and my dad. They took pride in fixing stuff.
Right.
So that's how I learned. I literally started working on cars because my dad, at 10 years old, used me as a human jack. He made it fun. He put a wedge between the transmission that he was trying to jack up into a van and had me walking out on the plank. And so the metrics of weight, they have like a seesaw. If you got more weight on this end, and even though the device might be heavier than you can end up being heavier than what was normally heavier than you by using the wedge. That was the birth of me working on cars. I don't tell people I work on cars because I don't want to work on nobody else's cars.
Right. No, that's what. Okay.
Yeah, I don't, because I don't want that responsibility. So I have tools that I can check the engine service light and all that, and find out what the code is, and the code will tell you approximately what the problem is. Yeah, I have that. That's for me. But we're just at a place where that it don't look like, women not gonna cook like my mama. It's far and few that you're gonna see Thanksgiving where all the women got in the kitchen and cook. It's at the point now that I'm the one in the kitchen cooking.
Really?
Oh yeah, I know how to.
Are you scaring me? I never. That's sad.
No, it ain't sad. That's just the way the women in my life built me.
Really?
That's the way the women in my life built me. My grandmother, my mother. You say you gonna learn how to take care of yourself with the woman or without a woman.
Oh no, my guys, they know how to do that. They know how to cook. But when it comes time for holidays and whatnot, we women, that's what we do. Because it just seems,
it's different, especially when you're in the city. It's different. That my lady just got her doctorate. If it wasn't for education for her, cooking ain't the deal. My lady just got her doctorate. And she's the baby of the family. At 50, ain't the deal.
I don't know. Somebody got an extra. Somebody must got a window open or something open.
Is that you?
You got YouTube open too? Yeah, he must have had that other window open.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what happens also is when you have, I found, my son and I think Shaq and I spoke about this last night. Since the coronavirus pandemic, the COVID-19 came around, um, we had to adjust ourselves and our family and not meet during the holidays or meet for special religious functions.
We had to adjust ourselves
Yeah,
in our family
I hear an
and
echo
not
again.
meet during the holidays. Hey, Chris, probably close you on your laptop. Adjust ourselves. If
Yeah.
you're on your laptop, try to close out a window, close YouTube out, and just go to StreamYard. Hey, Chris, probably close you on your laptop.
Turn the volume off. Turn the volume off of the YouTube.
Yeah,
There you
all you
go.
gotta do is click off the YouTube and then
Yeah, volume. Yeah.
There
I
you
just
go.
turned the
We good
volume
now.
off.
Sorry about that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's
you
okay.
good.
Yeah, because I see everything's changing on YouTube, even for me as a viewer. But I have hope. I have hope, Mr. Green. I really do. And I appreciate the work that you're doing, but I try to lead by example as much as possible because these kids they're watching us. No matter what, we have to do the right thing and help them. And I think it's a good thing if you and your lady have a relationship where you're in the kitchen. If you like doing it, that's a great thing. I think that's a beautiful thing. But who comes to eat?
Well, I like to eat, and I find out the restaurant, me and the restaurant don't get along when it comes to paying.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so
Like you. Go ahead.
She would prefer me to do it.
Mhm.
We all know how to do something to survive.
Right.
But I have learned to, because my grandmother's 86, still lives. My mom is
God bless her.
69, 70,
Mhm.
and so my grandmother actually was staying with me. She's moved to Alabama with her other daughter that
Okay.
spent 9 years in the army.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so just being able to serve her as a grandson was a joy for me.
Right.
And we'll sit at the table and talk about Mr. Bishop Jason, what he said on the sermon. We'll have our own little old come to Jesus meeting at the table. But
TD is that TD Jakes? Mhm.
it could be TD Jakes or any other preacher
Yeah.
that said
Yeah.
something and caught her attention. And with that, I just been able to steer her into seeing things different because her thought process, how things used to be,
Mhm.
they really not too far away. And I was sharing with her, we still need your wisdom where you at,
Mhm.
because we need to still understand what that looked like in your time. Other things might be a little offset, like you better keep that good job. And I said, well, granted, they ain't keeping folks for 30 years and giving them a turkey and a watch no more. So that's what she used to, and so times change, and we have to change as quick as we can. Why time is changing?
Mhm.
And I just believe, when Shaq was talking about, the problems and solution for you, I think there's not enough of us as adults seeing this and that are willing to look at these young adults or these children, the youth, to be able to steer them in a way, because we almost just like them. We trying to get the bag too. And especially, if you already grown and your kids grown, and you done raised your own, you really ain't trying to raise nobody else's kids. And the truth of the matter, if you don't have compassion and love for people, and more so love yourself, it's gonna be hard for you
Mhm.
to pour into anybody else.
Oh my God. Amen to that, brother.
Amen, right?
Self-love.
Right.
Self-love.
So,
Yeah.
so how many youth do you work with youth?
No, I don't work with you.
You work with ex-felons
Adult.
or?
Yeah, I work with ex-felons
Mhm.
from 18 up.
Okay. And you've been doing this for how long?
15, 20 years.
Okay. And so, do you like what you do?
Yeah, bro.
So yes, I do. But let me put a add to it. What I really like, I like the well-being, particularly for Black men.
Mhm.
Other cultures just happen to be a part of the situation.
Mhm.
So with doing what I do, it's not healthy for me to deny other men of being able to receive healing or blessing or information. However, my story is I went through a divorce. And as I was going through this divorce, it hurted me so much that I was into a local church and I was serving as a deacon. And the gentleman that was serving with me didn't come to my rescue as I was going through my divorce, my depression. You know, I actually went through a whole fifth of Crown and not realized that I was depressed and went through the whole deal without even. I was drunk. I was just too depressed to feel it.
Mm.
But something came on TV as I had the laptop in my lap looking at TV, and it was talking about depression. And those symptoms was, I don't know why I did it. I don't know how I did it. But when I saw those symptoms, I decided to say, that's me.
Mhm.
And I started, the first thing in psychology, they tell you to clean up you need to clean up your house, the
Mhm.
house that you live in, not your body,
Right.
the house that you live in.
Mhm.
When your house clean, it gives you some sense of a peace
Mhm.
while you're working on yourself.
Mhm.
So I was laying in the bed crying and asking the Lord, why is it that you allow me to experience this hurt, this pain, this defeat in my life? And it was a whisper saying that, son, if you hurting and you know me, what is it like for a man hurting and don't know me?
Mm.
So I took it as if he was telling me to go help men, but it wasn't specific. I was thinking I was going to go help normal, maybe non-church going men or church going men. I end up, so I volunteered at the parole office. And that was my journey from 20 years ago. And so I done help guys that have been in 20 years. One of my guys I was just telling him about, he 20 years, he's a walking foreman at a company. Got a new crib, got a new car, and got a couple of businesses that he's working on. I didn't. It's nothing that I did unique about it. All I did was, I told Shaq, give resources and guidance and being a support mechanism to when life is hitting him and he don't know how to function in it because 20 years been in prison, he won't know how to.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a powerful story.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Leslie. That is powerful.
Mhm.
No, I was going to tell you, I was just going to give you a little, I mean, not say it was a little history. We've been knowing each other since damn near middle school, right?
Middle school, yeah,
Middle school. So we go way back.
Mhm.
Yeah, we go way back, Leslie.
So look at here. So now you got a new missus, right?
A new missus?
Mhm.
No, she ain't new.
No, but
She
you got a missus. You said you got divorced, but you got some, somebody
Yeah, but she ain't new. She 12 years in the game. I refuse to get married.
it's supposed to always I believe in love romance. I'm a foolish person like that. But you know something?
What's
You
that?
know something? That means that you allowed yourself to be loved. You allowed yourself to love yourself. And somebody
So
came and they see you, they see the worth in you, and 12 years is that's no joke. Because if you
no,
can
it's
get
not.
through that 7, it's supposed to be good. And and
I'm
and
tell
the
you.
way and you said I'm gonna stop you there, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you your props. You
Mhm.
said to us that you were in the kitchen.
Mhm.
Now I'm kind of going by your accent here a little bit, and normally men folk ain't supposed to be in the kitchen cooking and washing dishes, because that wasn't my brother didn't wash dishes in our house and do all that, even though he knows how to do it. That's just the cultural way of doing it. But you did that to honor your mate, and she appreciates that. Don't skip across the good stuff, man. I'm giving you your props. That's a beautiful story.
Well,
Oh, I'm glad I
yeah,
clicked on
it's
today, doggone it.
yeah.
She
You know, it
appreciates it. That's what we were talking about, Shaq.
Yeah,
you
absolutely,
know
absolutely.
it,
Yeah,
it can be, but
Mhm.
on the surface of talking about it, the 12 years ain't been easy.
No, it's never
You know
easy.
it and to the point of some things been, as a man, been disrespectful. It whatever took me to hold on. If people ask me that, why you still there, then I have no clue.
Yes, you do.
It's one thing and I told Shaq, one thing I love about it the most is peaceful, and that's enough for me at this point. Just
Can
having peace.
you can you and that lady, right? Can you two be in the same room and not say anything and it's all good?
Ab- Absolutely.
And hello, what are you talking about? That's a wonderful thing.
You
Her,
know,
your
after you
hearts beat at the same
after you
pace.
so to add some more to the story, I've been having a kid since high school.
Mhm,
My oldest 33, my youngest 19.
mhm.
I've been in the child support game well over 30 years,
Okay,
along with back child support 2 times, 14 grand with both.
okay, that's good.
Well, yeah, it's sound remarkable, but the suffering that I had to go through in order to survive and live, it what bothers me and what keeps other young brothers don't want to take up that mountain,
Do
to
you
take up that banner.
realize? Okay, do you realize that the custodial parent spends more and
Not
more
necessarily.
money? No, wait a minute. Let
Not
me finish.
not
Because
necessarily.
when all right, if you don't, I say custodial, whoever the child lives with, right? The child lives with the mother. When the child is going through young adult to adolescence and then going to teenage years and on up, those are big changes, especially when you're raising boys. I learned a lot, and I've raised sons. I
Hmm.
learned a lot, and thank God we were able to talk the way you and I are speaking right now. And I made a promise. If you want me to treat you, and this is when they were 14, so if you want me to treat you as a young adult, give me my respect as well. I said, and I will do the same to you. And they kept their word. And you know what I did? I kept my word. That was fine. But but fathers who work outside, travel all over, they don't see that part. You
Because
understand?
yeah, I get that, but I'm not that father. I've been the one, been on hands on from day one with both of my girls.
Okay,
However, uh, I'm
that's a
paying child.
beautiful thing.
I'm done paying child support now, but I'm paying child support and a car note that I don't have to do. I did it because I was setting her up for college.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing, brother.
No, we're not talking about the good thing. We're talking about what you're talking about. We're talking
Okay.
about the price, what it costs.
Oh, it's looking sucking now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Cost
This
to be the
thing is
boss.
real.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it get real when you get to talking about child support, because
Mhm.
the truth of the matter,
Hey, Erica.
the system's not set up for the family.
No,
Hello,
it's not.
everyone.
How you doing, lady?
I'm
Mhm.
good. How's everybody?
Thank God we're here.
Good.
Hey,
Is
Chris,
that the
that's the
boss
wifey. I
lady?
don't know if you ever seen it. That's the wifey right there, man. She
That's
up
the
on
Yeah,
boss
top.
lady.
I remember her from Houston. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you remember? Okay.
Mhm. Well, you know, um, on that,
Everybody's situation's not the same, and
it's true.
mine, unfortunately, was not. I've been there from day one. I know what it takes to. I'm the guy that would go buy clothes for his woman.
Yes,
So
that's
I
the
know
thing.
what it costs. I know what it
Mhm.
costs to feed her. I know what it costs to put clothes on her. So it ain't,
But you
if
know,
if she didn't have the kid there, how she was gonna take care of herself. And I'm not advocating a man should not pay child support. What I'm advocating is that idea of that whole scenario of money, because it gets real shaky and funny. You know, when the mama, I had one mama blow the money. I got another mama took care of everything.
hmm that's
Yeah,
how it
so
is.
that mama that took care of everything gave me the opportunity to go out and buy a car.
But what I'm saying, like, I know you're looking at it in that sense, but what I'm looking at it from a woman's perspective is
And you know what? And
well
we're always
done,
class.
well
And
done,
yeah,
well done.
yeah, I
That
appreciate it.
that's
But
that.
but
I
for
mean,
the most case, the idea of the woman thinking and the man thinking when it comes to these intangible type of conversations with child support and all that, if the guy had not been involved, he don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
He don't know what's going on. I'm talking about saxophones and about this and paying child support. You know, by law, only thing I owe is child support.
so do you have grandchildren?
If I have four.
Okay, so your daughter who's raising your grandchildren, she is solid, and she thought to have children because
She's
of her
not.
father. Sorry, sir.
So so the baby girl who I'm talking about is the one that's silent. The
Mhm.
My oldest one needs work.
Why? She has children.
Not supposed that she needs children. It's just other things in her life needs to be better as a parent.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
So she's
you,
not as silent when from the outside looking in, making a statement.
you gotta let the birds fly, brother.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
the boss. She's grown. She's 33.
There you go.
I'm just talking about the statement. When you're making it silent,
Yeah,
what does that mean?
yeah,
I listen to words. Words mean something to me.
yeah. My oldest son in his 30s, he said to me, I said, "Are you sure?" I was asking him, about some decision he was going to make. He said, "Mom, I love you. I have to, I have to try." And he came to me respectfully and as a man speaking to his mother. And I said, "Well, you have my blessings." I gave him my blessings, and everything's been green light ever since. If he
You
had
know
little
that
hiccups, it was
the
he
difference is
learned to
between
solve it.
that conversation
Hmm.
is that he's a grown man and he wants to be grown. So we gonna go out and do it
Hmm.
how we see fit. And if it fails, and if he's bold enough, he will come back and say, "Mom, it failed. Let me see what you're talking about." But he had to do it his way first as a man. At 50, my mama still trying to tell me how to be 20. I'm
Oh
like,
my
"Mom, I
goodness! Wait
ain't.
now, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I'm not like that.
I ain't trying to do nothing. Look, look. Let's have a little fun here." My mama say, "Baby, are you ever gonna get married again?" I said, "Mama, I don't know." She said, "I guess. Well, I know somebody that I like, who I want you to meet."
Uh huh.
I say, "Mama, all due respect, if you like her, I don't like her.
that is a true statement.
All due respect, if you like her, I don't like her. Cause my mom ain't never like now woman I had.
Uh-oh.
I'm the only child like Shaq.
Oh no, you should have said that from the get-go. No wonder. Well,
I'm the only child like Shaq. My mom didn't like that one. She started liking my ex-wife after we got divorced.
Well, mama ain't no fool.
Now, hey, I'm not trying to cut you out, Green. Now I'm gonna tell you this funny thing about it, and I'm not just saying this because my wife's on here, but I'm gonna tell you, my mom. Now, Green know my mom.
Yeah,
and you know she on the field. My mama love Erica to man. When I say she love her, I walk in there, go see her at the rehab. She'll say, "Where Erica at?"
Where's Eric? That's right.
I'm like, I'm here. Wait a minute, baby. I'm here. You know
look,
what I'm saying?
my situation, even at 50, my situation ain't like that even now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my situation ain't even like that now. Matter of fact, my mama mad at me right now.
What you done then?
Because I won't agree.
Oh.
Yeah. But you know, but you know what? I found this out about some things about mothers. It's like, you know, it's a lot of things that you have to, you know, we have to jump out on faith. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that me and Erica done when we were in Houston, that we moved to Florida. And of course, I was at the transit system for 23 years. You know what I mean? I was there for a minute. And she was like, well, why would you leave a job? You know, you've been there that long. You shouldn't leave your job. And I was like, baby, I got to jump out on faith. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I don't, you know, if I'm not happy, I can't, well, I'm going to stay somewhere where I'm just complete. I mean, the job is not hard. And it wasn't, and it's ironic how me and him started working at the same job, even after being in high school together. You know what I'm saying? So we still end up being around each other. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, we jumped out on faith. I mean, the struggle was there. We got here and we struggled, but we came apart and by God's grace, you know, we got everything we own. It's paid for. You know what I'm saying? But that comes with building, and we've been in financial binds and stuff of that nature. And we sat there, and it, like I said, I think I spoke to you about this lesson before. I said that it brought us closer than brought us apart. Because sometimes I find out in relationships that finances, you know, tend to break up relationships or break up marriages because it's not intentional, but I think it's just a frustration because you're not where you think you should be. Now, do I agree where I should be where I want to be right now? No, I'm not. But we're in that we're on our way. You know what I'm saying? Even at the age of 50. You know what I mean? But like I said, we have our health, we have our strength. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I have a wife that, you know, that's one thing that loves me, plus loves my mother. You know what I'm saying? Not very many in-laws. I love my mother-in-law too. Now, don't get me wrong. And I think both of them at some point can be a piece of work. But you know what I'm saying? But
we do it deliberately. We do it deliberately.
Yeah, I mean, amazing piece of work. But, you know, but at the same time, you know, that's where my immediate family was, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I consider it as my immediate family because, you know, it takes I think sometimes, you know, like the acceptance of, you know, you becoming that male or like with Green's girl, you know, like her dad, God rest his soul, that, you know, he gave me the blues. Oh, boy, not gave me the blues, not to me, but he was like, oh, well, how do you know him or what did he do and all this other stuff? But in reality, he was feeling comfortable for me being with his daughter. You know what I'm saying? And when, you know, even to that point, but like Erica said, he's he go give you prop, but he gave you prop just to see how much, you know, can you withstand or how much are you really there for my daughter? You know what I'm saying? And I think any father would be like that
was a good father.
Yo, absolutely.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. He gave me the blues about Shaq. He gave me the blues. Now he was respectful to Shaq, but he gave me the blues. But I guess, like Shaq said, he wanted to make sure he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you
and,
know,
and with having daughters, that's one of the fear of the father is to make sure that who he's given his prize to, that he's going to do as much as possible he can to take
Yeah,
care of,
yeah,
my baby,
yeah, true.
especially if you was a guy that ran the street, you fear that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you fear that my baby gonna get somebody like me that was in
Yeah,
these streets.
yeah, I had that happen. My daughter said that. Oh, he remind me of you. I said, we might be the same color skin, but we ain't the same. I work. You don't want to work.
Yeah.
I said I work. When I was out there, I worked. He didn't want to work. He wants
I
to.
don't.
What did she say? Let life finds me. Let the life find me, or work find me, or something. And I was like, nah, you can't do that in this day and age. You got to go get it.
Gotta get it. Yes.
Like now, when I heard that, I go, my other daughter just got married two weekends ago to a good guy.
Congratulations.
So, I like him. I asked him about advice on cars and everything. He come at me. I told him, I know you don't tired of me calling you, but he said, no, I'm not. I know he is, but I'm the only father-in-law he gonna ever have. So
right.
He stuck with me.
But
Blues.
see,
Do you? 20s, my other one 18, so we gotta. Well, my other one almost 30, so we gotta work on my 18-year-old to find somebody right. She's working, but she.
Hey, they in a whole nother mind frame, Doc. Cause my 19-year-old, she had one for a week and gave him back. And gave him back. So now he want too much. Like, dang. I said, you ain't let me meet the brother. And her mom said he was a good guy, but she said he want too much. He want too much time. So, my baby girl, she's focused on what she's trying to get to. She's her first year in college.
I like that.
And she was an hour away from being a sophomore her freshman year. So she might end up being a junior next year.
Ooh.
She graduated magna cum laude.
Uh-huh.
And she's handling business. So I didn't mind sacrificing and buying cars and getting her credit straight and all those things.
Yep. That's what our fathers did. But you three men that are up here speaking, you have the solution to help our youth. You've touched so many. You've touched your daughters as well as their husbands or their mates. You're on a roll.
I think one point that I could say, and I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, Leslie, but it's just the part of as reaching them. You know what I'm saying, in a certain aspect. You know what I mean? Are they willing to listen? Because I think, in my personal opinion, that what happens with a lot of us, and I think when we was on the panel before, Chris, and if you recall this, man, when we said that it's social media they're so caught up in social media. And with being in social media, it kind of you could tell them something, and then all of a sudden, they look at something on YouTube, and then they're gonna sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they might come back and contradict what you said because they saw it on YouTube. And I found out sometimes our youth, they listen to people outside of you. Now, why is that the case? Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But I've seen, I saw this on this, or I saw this on that, and I'm like, wait a minute, but. So my word don't mean nothing. Or today's times where some of the kids, they think they know more than you, and they only been here 20 plus years of their life, or 18 years of their life, or 19 years of their life. You know what I mean? And that blows my mind. Like, Yeah, they ain't trying to hear. Which I think at some point we all at some point didn't want to listen to our parents. At some point, I mean, I can't sit here and vouch and say that I didn't. Because you thought they were just blah 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 blah, sounding like Charlie Brown, one 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 one. Like you didn't want to hear, But then you get into life later on, and you be like, and a situation that you come across, and you be like, yeah, mom said this. Dad say it'll be days like this. You know what I mean? And you sit back and you sit back and realize like, wow, man, so I did hear that before. Or somebody, as they call it, confirmation of what you might have thought or you heard, and someone else comes right back and confirm what your parents told you. Now it kind of resonates a little bit. You know what I mean? But if you start hearing things outside of that, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen people go to certain people's house where they come to your house, you have your rules and regulations. They go to their friend's house, they got parents over there, they over out there cussing and all this other stuff, and then all of a sudden your kid get to slip up and say, mother, whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
We don't do that. We don't do that. No, sir. No, we don't do that. Or no, ma'am. But I've seen it. I think sometimes maybe when we grew up in Green and because y'all might can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think do you believe that they have more influences now than that we had back in the day? Meaning as in positive, but then we had negative influences, but far as more negative or even just influences, period. Today's time versus back in the time we grew up.
Oh yeah, it's on your phone. It's on your phone. We had the street dudes. We had the older cats in the neighborhood. They got Google. They got they can Google everything else, but they can't Google something right. That's why I tell my kids, y'all Google everything else, but y'all can't Google that. How you do this? I said, you Google everything else, but you can't Google that. But yeah, it's. We used to listen to the street cats on the block, or the older women, and they were the one that was knowledge, and the older men. But now they don't even listen. They just Google. They listen to their friends, or they go on, like you said, YouTube, or they go on to TikTok and Instagram and Snap and all that other stuff, and that's what they get information from.
I was.
But
I had
instead
a
of a check and. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish?
Go ahead, Leslie.
Yeah, because sometimes I get a delay. I have the earbuds in. Excuse me.
Okay.
My son and I, we were just talking today. He's in his 20s. The second one, and I said, how I raised you guys is, I would say, I would say that, I'm trying to get on such and such a place, and I got this, I don't know if you can. I played as though I didn't know how to do something. I asked them, even though I knew, I asked them for their opinion, but I did it in such a way that they didn't catch on what I was doing. I wanted to make sure they knew, and
We
they
never
helped
do.
me through it. Okay.
We never do.
Yeah.
We
Right,
never do. Y'all always do us like that. Even if y'all dating us, we never do.
No, but the thing of it is that then we were able to have the conversation, because we don't have conversation at a certain level. Because when the children went to college, why am I not using that vocabulary? So we have to raise our conversation level. Instead of talking about cartoons, you're talking about real information about the astrology, or do you know what that star looks like or is called or something. That's what I kind of do.
That's great.
My son is here listening. He said, expand your vocabulary. He said, he hears us speaking, so
The distraction is very huge of today. We didn't have that type of distraction when we was coming up.
Right.
And we had more people that was willing to to give their opinion to us, whether if it was good or bad. We had to kind of look and see what works and what does not work for us, based on what our parents taught us. But I believe that we're over mother and under father more now than ever.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I would agree with him on that. Yeah.
But that's okay. But wait a minute now. No, wait a minute, Mr. Green. In all fairness, now see, maybe I don't know. Were you in the? Did you grow up when the men were drafted and they had to go to or they
No,
went
we
into
ain't
the
that look.
military?
No, we ain't that old.
Okay. No,
No,
no, no. But let me
but
tell you, I grew up when the guys had gone off to war, fought wherever they went, and when they came back, and I watched them, as a little girl. It wasn't just, I don't, maybe some, what is that? The Gulf War, the Persian Gulf War, Grenada conflict. You guys don't remember that?
no, we was kids then.
Yeah, we
Oh,
was probably
that's what
babies,
I'm
baby.
saying. No,
Yeah.
but it affected the whole family. So so there was a different mindset. There were never many men. My great grandmother, her husband went to war. My understanding, I see pictures. My grandfather went to a war, back then. My dad went
So
to a
even
war.
and
There
and
was
we're
no,
really not disagreeing with one another.
hmm
Um, we're still the first voice that the child hears, whether you're a male or female,
hmm
is the mother because she carried you.
right.
Ironically, once we deliver, we're still more than likely being influenced by a woman. And I'm not just talking about the guys now.
hmm
We're more influenced by the woman more than a guy.
Mm. Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. I think
No,
it's the natural way, right?
absolutely not.
Yeah. No, I mean, but the mothers are nurturers. But a woman has to know when to let
Once you're
go.
like now, you talking to your boy.
hmm
Is there right
Yes.
now?
No, he's not talking to me. He's singing.
No. Listen to me. The
Yes.
way that you talk to your boys now, they don't need your nurturing side.
No. We have adult conversation. It's not
That's
about nurturing.
right.
Yeah.
So ideally, back in those days when you were talking about, the men was actually being men. It was
hmm
actually showing young men how to build stuff, how to
hmm
be a productive citizen. And now we have more of the women trying to give those structures, but don't know what that looked like. And you getting it from a woman's perspective. You don't know what it's like to be a black man in these streets and have to deal with the police because they don't deal with y'all in the same matter.
Mm.
So you're dealing with a different sort of a person.
We're just talking about having information, the approach to
Yeah,
to
but
to life as a guy.
I wasn't in the streets, but the streets I learned from the streets. I was not allowed by those who were in the streets to be in the streets because they said we need somebody to make it. Okay? And I never forgotten and never turned my back on them. Okay? So my thing is I teach my children not only conversation, but I teach them about the streets, that common sense. There's some wisdom in the streets. There is a hierarchy in the streets. That hustle that you see on the streets is what you see in politics, what you see in the business world. Streets never leave us. And that's how I talk to my people. I mean, when I say my people, my sons, I always wanted
Right.
daughters, didn't have any. But guess what? When the one got married, I got a daughter now. Love her,
Mm-hmm.
love her. Can't nobody, and that's good.
And
But the
and and and
streets are
and
real.
I would be wrong to say that the the investment that women have put in
Mhm.
is not good because that would be dead wrong. However, what my dad installed in me as a young man, my grandmother or my mama that nurtured me or gave me what to cook,
Mm-hmm.
can I oversee that relationship with my dad?
Mm-hmm.
And on top of the other gentlemen that came into my life that gives me information and things that I needed to survive in this world. And that's why I use the analogy. We're over mothered and under fathered even more now today than it was earlier.
I like to elaborate on that, man. I would agree with you on that. And the reason being, and I'm gonna kind of tell you where I mean, I know Leslie understand, but it's just the point of where and I get what he's saying too, because honestly, if you think about what you see today in the youth, the young men, a lot of them. I'm gonna give you an example. I was at a store one day,
Mm-hmm.
and this young man was coming in. I mean, he was on the phone. I mean, he was swearing all over the place. I'm talking about, I mean, repeatedly back. I'm talking about not just no damn or no hell. I'm talking about some serious words.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and today, you know, like your older cats used to tell us something, and we straighten up and we listen to them and we hear them out. Well, today's kid, you know, young people, they like, you know, how could you tell me something, you know, old school or whatever they want to call you, whatever, but then they want to be in some sort of way of a disrespect. And but it's just something that, and I think it was the discernment. I think it was something that the good Lord just touched my heart to talk to this young man. And when he walked in the store, and I was about to walk in the store, but I just waited, and I sat out and waited for him, like right by my vehicle, whatever. I said, "Hey, young bro, let me talk to you." You said, he what's going on? You know, kind of in I wouldn't say a disrespectful way, but you know, like what you want type situation. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Hey man, I noticed that you was using a lot of profanity, man, walking in." I said, you know, I said, I'm not judging you on anything what you're doing, but I mean, you know, young brother, you shouldn't be, you know, we have, you know, this is a foundation that you have to start respecting, you know, the elderly and, you know, other people around you, you know, without, you don't have to do that by using profanity. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm just giving you a little thing that, you know, talk about. But anyway, to make a long story short, the young brother, listen to me. And you know, he kind of went from a frown to like really listening. So with that being said, going back to what Green was saying, and it was like, because who's to say that he hadn't had that type of person to speak to him, not in a boastful way or aggressive way, but just to talk to him kind of like a heart-to-heart type situation that maybe that he never had. So I get the concept when he's saying we overnourished and you know, less father. You know what I'm saying? I can agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Because today's times, especially, you know what I'm saying? And then I think a lot of things happens with, especially with the system of child support. You know, I've been there. I paid. I never ran from it, but it's just the point of I paid. And I think when it comes to giving some women, not all women, some women believe in co-parenting. Some women believe in trying to have the control. My ex-wife was a perfect example. You know, remember, Leslie, you remember when we was talking about that? And remember, I was telling you how she was.
Yes.
And I think what happens is, you know, you pull a man out the home that's not a bad person, not a bad man, not being a certain type of a disrespectful father, but also raising kids biologically that's not his. So, but you will be okay with me helping you raise yours, but you don't even want to let me raise my own. But I never made a difference in my children. You know what I mean? Far as her kids to my daughter, my daughter. I said the girls, our girls. And and with that being said, so now you tend to look at the situation in a different way because you like, why is it that we have some women that just want to have that much control and not let that father, even if you're not in the same household, what's wrong with co-parenting? What's wrong with, coming to agreement? I'm not saying y'all got to be best friends, but you can co-parent, because with your marriage don't work, but you still have a child involved.
I don't think I could answer that question.
No. I'm just really speaking. I wouldn't ask you a direct question or anything. No, but I'm just
okay, because I don't know what's on these women.
Yeah, I get you, because that's why I said I use the term some women. I'm not saying all women, because I can't. But see, it's so funny that I've heard it so many times where you've heard the term all men are dogs.
Yes, and I disagree.
Yeah, okay, you disagree, but you think logic. You think about, because you that all men are not dogs.
I've met some good men.
What type of woman are the ones that say all men are dogs? No, all men ain't dogs. It's just about the man you chose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's usually a woman that got turned down, and a woman that was turned down or something, though.
Right. But, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, a lot of times some women feel that there's no such thing as rejection. Don't let you be half decent or nice looking. How dare you? How dare you reject me? You know what I'm saying? But if all you have to offer is a pretty face and a big behind, I definitely don't want you.
And you can't cook.
and majority of them can't cook.
Can't cook.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm saying, or don't even want to go in the kitchen and cook you. Hey, baby, can you go cook me a hamburger? Why don't you get up and cook it yourself? I mean, what? I'm not saying that about my wife, man. She'll cook me something to eat. Nah, I ain't saying that. Look, I ain't trying to go to dog. But I'm just saying. But anything, like I said, that's why the comparison and the difference is like night and day with my marriage now versus then. I used to ask my ex-wife, well, can you do this for me? Why? But then you're quick to ask me something. Now it's like we balance each other out. Like, say for instance, as far as cleaning. She don't like cleaning restrooms. I don't like cleaning the kitchen. So guess what? I clean the restroom, she clean the kitchen, and we do everything else together.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's a sort of a compromise. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like she should always do this or I should always do that. It's just the point of, what does she rather do that and I'd rather do that. Okay, fine. I'll clean the restroom.
That's as it should be. And it takes, God forbid something happens to your spouse, the man or the woman. What are you going to do? Toss them out and get a new one or something? I thought it was for better, for worse. That's how I think of it. So I think like I said, you're not going to always be given that 50-50. You might sometimes do that 99 and that person can only give you one.
But see, that's why I go back to that when I said I believe it's 100 and 100. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. That's the way I feel. And the reason I say that because
that's just the way I can add.
No.
You want to get mathematical, but go ahead.
No. But like I said, that's just with me. And the reason this ain't something that I knew, because I think if I knew this position before, maybe my first marriage would have lasted. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I was perfect. You know what I'm saying? But now that I understood it and I didn't carry what my situation from that relationship to this relationship and to my new marriage, if I did that, then we would probably be having the same exact problems that I was having in my first marriage.
But something that we're forgetting, that all of us, insofar as relationships are concerned, we fixed ourselves. You can't go to the next. You're not the same person you were when you were with the first person. You really did some internal thinking about, all right, I can't go to the next level, to the next person until I fix me. And I'm a firm believer in that. When things get a little funky or a little stagnant, I look to me, and you started the conversation by saying, we have to do self. What did you use? You use that term. Use a term for it. Self improvement, if you want.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely, yeah, definitely, yeah.
But
So, what
but
self? Uh, well, love self. Really,
yeah,
you have
love
you
yourself,
love
right?
yourself. Yeah.
But what Mr. Green was saying is, it's so true. You love yourself, and but yet and still he's able to share himself with these people that he works with, and that's a powerful thing, Mr. Green.
Well, she wasn't in agreement with that.
What I'm talking about, the job with the ex-con, she wasn't in
Yeah,
agreement with
no,
it.
no, she wasn't in agreement with that.
Oh wait, do you bring
She,
them to your home?
no, no,
Oh, okay. So okay,
no,
why
no.
wasn't she agree? I don't understand it.
Well,
If you don't mind.
some things is just not sometimes for us to agree or to see. I told her when we met, I believe where God was taking me, that
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't gonna be an easy ride, and it had not been. But we get into these relationships on the assumption that we're all gonna agree on what we choose to do
Mm-hmm.
as adults. And she's never been around no one that dealt with ex offenders. It's not cute. It's not everybody's thing. And so, the first guy she seen me deal with was a white guy that that stole cars for a living. And
Mm-hmm.
he was the first guy that was in my class that actually did everything he's supposed to do
Mm-hmm.
in one week. Where
Mm-hmm.
these other brothers been around, 6 months, 8 months, and hadn't even done half of the stuff. But he ended up getting a triple bypass, and she saw me grooming him up
Mm-hmm.
and taking care of him at the hospital.
Mm.
And so her whole outlook for me changed due to the fact of what I was doing for somebody that she really never seen nobody do for
Mm.
another human being.
Wow.
Uh, what encouraged her with it is when she went to a program with me, and she got the opportunity to listen to a guy that got accused of a crime that he spent 30 years for, that he
Mm-hmm.
did not do, and
Mm-hmm.
ended up being released some 30 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And then that started opening up her eyes to why I was doing what I was doing. It really takes us to be able, whoever we're gonna be with, to give the other party time to build the thoughts, the compassion, if they didn't have it at the time. Because normally in the ideal church setting, we not as lovers that we talk about as being at the church. When we get uncomfortable, we're not as in love with people.
Mm-hmm.
And so she growed into it. And there are some other circumstances that, like some challenges that she had with me loving on my baby girl, how I loved on her. She felt like I should have been spending extra money up until she had to experience herself with her son through his stepmother, where she had bought a car for her son after him having a new grandbaby, and they was having a baby shower during the pandemic, and so her and her family filled the truck up with gifts and baby wipes, diapers, and all that, put in the back of the SUV that she got for her son. And as she was sitting by her ex-husband and his new wife, the new wife seen a vehicle And she said, I'm gonna call him John, but John, I hope you ain't put no money on that truck.
Mm.
So my girl, she like at the church, you put your hand up to go use the bathroom and walked away. And so when she shared that with me, I said, you actually got the chance to experience yourself dealing with me.
Wow.
I said, when you ladies try to put the handcuffs on us for taking care of our child, that's what it feels like. And
Wow.
you got the opportunity to feel it the way I feel it. And I said, I know I'm right because I've seen my mama do it. I've seen my grandmother do it. I've seen my ex-wife do it. Now you're doing it. And so we all have to allow each other to grow in some spaces that may not be happy with us. And so, and that's been the process of our relationship. It's been growth. But on top of that growth, there's some pain after divorce that I was dealing with, that she wouldn't allow me to go through my process as we was dating. And one while we stayed together, and I was at a space where we was moving, and I was as we was moving, I put all my belongings in the back of the U-Haul because my plan was not to stay there. My plans was to move on to somewhere else, go put my stuff in the storage and go with my grandmother. And she ended up losing her job the same day she closed on the house.
Have mercy, Father.
And I couldn't see myself doing that because she came to me at a time when I was down. As of today, we're doing much greater, and the understanding is much greater. And that's just a part of the growth. If we can stand the time of hanging on for the growth, or if we can't handle it, go somewhere just to start all over again. My thought process being with her was more into keeping peace, and she gave me a lot of that. And possibly other things that I wanted out of her that she couldn't supply then. Like I have 4 grandchildren. I feel like she tolerated them. I didn't think she was on a team with me. She just dealt with them because I forced them to be there, type of stuff. And this was something that I was bringing kids over, and then she had to take care of kids, so I took care of myself. And I brought them when I knew I was going to be around. But again, as I told Shaq, I seen her do a 360 when she got a great niece. I seen her cultivating love on the kids. But early on in our relationship, her mannerism as far as kids, I ain't doing no kids until that great niece and that grandbaby came. Her whole tone changed. So whether that was growth or whatever that was,
It might have been a hormonal thing. It all depends on a lot of different things. Come on now, you're telling a bunch of success stories, brother. You got 2 loaves under each arm, and you complaining you ain't got no food.
This is not a complaint. This is my process. This is my life. This is what I feel. Yeah.
I love it. I think these stories are good.
Yeah, but you have to stay in that in order to see the other side of it.
Yes.
And we usually don't. And that's really what I'm barking at. Even in the marriage. My marriage was only 3 years, but that was the first baby that showed me how to be loved from a woman.
Mm.
Your first marriage.
My first marriage.
Okay.
You know, I would tell anybody right now at this point of being married, if y'all don't have any mentors, you in trouble. You got to
Okay.
have somebody in there to be able to shake the feathers and say you wrong, or somebody say that the woman is wrong, and they both got the respect. I'm not talking about the same neutral friends. I'm talking about the woman have a woman friend, the man have a man friend, and both of them get their coattail pulled when they out of line.
But
That,
I would say that's real friends though.
that's a real friend, but those are few and hard.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
That's a real friend. Now,
That's
Yeah.
dangerous.
I agree with you on that, but
Yeah.
there again, it goes back to that real friend. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Now, some things I believe in our own, we know we're wrong, but like you said, I mean, sometimes you need that extra person to say, you know what, man, no, yeah, you were wrong. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have did that, you know. But I don't know, Green. I think that some people don't have that, you know. I think, no, we grew over the years, knowing each other for 30 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
and if I would come to you and say, hey, Green, look, man, XYZ, and you're gonna tell me the straight up serious, you're gonna be honest with me. You're not gonna be sugarcoating anything, you know what I mean? But not people. I think in a situation like that, I think what happens is it's too much cosign. And what I mean by co-signing is, because you're a man, I'm not going to tell you. Now, I'm not the man for you to come to me and ask me something, and I'm going to tell you the real. I'm not going to tell you, oh, yeah, man, screw that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say, man, maybe, I mean, I can give you a suggestion, because one thing I always tell them, and my wife will tell you that I don't never tell a person how to feel. I can't tell you, well, you shouldn't feel this way, or you should feel this way, or you shouldn't, I've never been that person. I've always been like, I always stuck to myself when I say, I can't tell you how to feel, but I can give you a suggestion of what maybe how that you might could approach, like I tell this person, maybe approach something in a different way. And we spoke on that earlier, a little bit, like about,
Mm-hmm.
Approaching things in different ways instead of always trying to come at a person the same way. Because if you see the same way ain't working, then you don't have no choice but to go a different way, or either go a different or go another direction and leave that person alone. I mean, I'm just being real, because if you're not willing to try, I mean, what's the purpose of even staying? And that sometimes that can go on both ways, because you got one person over here, they feel they're grown, you're grown, that nobody's ready to budge, then you're headed downhill with that one. I mean, that's just my opinion, but that's what I feel. So you have to be willing, and it goes back to compromise.
Yeah, my divorce probably, I ain't gonna say probably, is the best thing of me right now today.
I don't see what you mean by that.
Because if it wouldn't have happened, I probably wouldn't be talking the way I'm talking today.
Is this a good thing?
It's a good thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like good stuff.
I'm just saying sometimes when we're going through ups and downs in life and it don't work out the way that we want it to work, it's like a pearl. If I can use that as an analogy, all the pressure that it goes through to be as beautiful that it is when it's on a woman's neck.
Mm-hmm.
Our life is like that sometimes. The best of you is not when everything is going well. The best of you is when you coming out that issue, out that problem.
Brother man is deep over here, Shaq.
Yeah.
That's
talking.
That's
I
the
like
best of us. So
that pearl.
Even though that situation hurted me, and she got out the divorce. She wanted out. There was no going outside the marriage. What I did wrong is that I treated her son in a way that she didn't think it was fitting, because I was trying to treat him as he was my son. And what I found out in that lesson was that I can't. and I didn't know the whole story. The whole story was that he was hungry for his biological father and his grandfather that he was trying to get attention for, and I just thought he was just having adolescence. But he was really acting out for his dad that he wasn't getting that communication or that relationship with.
Did they ever finally get one?
Not really.
Do
No.
you speak to him?
Yeah, we talked.
That's all it is. That's all we're here for, just to listen.
And that's just in passing. There's no relationship, none of that. That's my baby girl, big brother. So he still remember when I told him how to ride a bicycle in the rain at 7 years old. That's the story of the day that he talked about, or he talked about some business adventures that I've been a part of, and he knew about them. If he get bold, he'll come and call me, but it's not, like a relationship. We don't have that. We respect each other in passing.
Yeah, but I think. Oh, go ahead, Green.
Go ahead. I'm done.
No, I was going to say that sometimes in a lot of things, I think situations like that, I think sometimes, I think when sometimes, and Erica she be telling me this a lot. She said they might not see it now, but they'll see it later on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And at first I was not, I wouldn't say angry, but it was just like it was hurtful because the thing of like you think you've been there trying to be that, as they call it, father figure to kids, and now they're taking sides with their mother, which it's natural. I get it. I'm not your biological father, your father deceased. But I think certain damage is done. And when the damage is done, I think it's gonna be up to that person, because I've heard situations like, you should have called me, or you should have did this, or you should have did that. And that might be the case to a certain extent, but then at the same time, these things work it works both ways, especially when you become a grown individual. Because you figure you're grown. I don't care if they say consider it society, you 18, you grown. Well, it's really 17, really, but more so the 18 that you're grown. But what they tend to think that, again, I spoke about earlier, is saying that you've been here 18, 19, 20 years in your life, and you think you know everything, and you're not willing to listen to what we're saying to you, that we're trying to guide you a direction that we don't, we talk to you and try to guide you to not go through some things that we went through in life, because then they always say sometimes you gotta let your kids bump their head.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that that sometimes that works, sometimes it don't. You know what I'm saying? Because if you continue to bump your head, then there's a problem. But you can only do so much, especially when they get to a certain age. And I think what happens with a lot of these kids today is like, they're a lot more advanced.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I know so. Yeah, they very advanced.
Technologically, they are, but that's
not meaning as in growth or maturity. Well, I'm speaking on technology wise. You know what I'm saying? They're advanced. You know what I mean? And it's like,
and Shaq, and maybe not as much as we think, because there's a lot of them won't go to Google and search for anything, because they don't. Only thing they using phones for now is really entertainment.
Yeah.
They have came into this world to be able to be a part of technology where we have not.
Right.
So it's more simple to them because they came into it.
Right.
They didn't have to figure out whether they're gonna tear up something or not.
Well, that's what I was saying to you, that I asked my guys, I shouldn't say youngsters, they're no longer youngsters, but I asked them and their friends, because their friends call me Ma also, I asked them, well, how do you use this? Or what's the best computer with a good speaker, or one that doesn't have a CD or one that does, I ask them those technological things. I might know it because I could look it up myself, or, but they explain to me. Like I was trying to figure out, we had a conversation about Zelle. Something simple, Cash App, Zelle. I want to know, what do you think about the Zelle? Putting in, so they say, oh, you put it on your phone. I don't do banking on my phone. That doesn't make sense. And so they were able to explain to me about a clone. What do they call it? A burner phone? Is that the term? Burner phone?
Burn. I guess I don't.
Well, anyhow, it's the same thing that happened, I think, with Just Jazz. We have children who we ask them questions and they're so happy and proud to tell us what's happening. Had we never asked that, we would never know. And it makes sense. So well, I guess what I'm saying is that a lot of times children think we don't need them, and we do. We do. So we have to show it. We have to learn how to show them that we need them. That's all.
No, that's a valid point. I just feel it's valid. When it comes to some kids, I've used or heard the term, you need me before I need you type situation.
Oh, okay.
And I found out that a lot of these kids, how can I say, they try to, they try to find a way outside, and they kind of get away from, thinking they can't access that. That's what I always want to be. I'm not going to I would joke with my kids, but there was a form of that. You still got to have that respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit there and let you call me MF and all this other. I've seen young ladies. I'm going to tell you, perfect example. I went to a club years ago when I was probably in my maybe 20, 23, 24 years old. I went in the club and a young lady was in there with her mom. And the young lady was talking to, and I'm thinking, the mother did look younger, but you could tell she was older than we were, you know what I mean? And the girl walked up to her, told me, I'll be, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I would never, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was blown away with that. Like, wait a minute, like my eyes got huge.
Right.
Because that was before I knew that was her mother. But when she said, oh, that's my mom, I'm like, what? Like, oh, so that's how y'all, yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. I was blown away at that point. But
that's because that information was already established from day one with you.
Yeah,
what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, that's but
or else.
Right.
That was already established.
That part, right. Or else. You're right. That's
type of establishment.
Yeah.
Don't really know this day.
I don't know. I guess I think when it comes to, I've noticed parents, you want to be friends instead of parent. Now, it's nothing wrong by having discussion with your children. It's nothing with joking with your children. But I think, sometimes I'm not going to let you ain't going to get out of hand with me. I'm sorry. I'm not going for no disrespect. No, I'm not doing that. Because I didn't disrespect my mom. I didn't disrespect my dad. I know what I had to do. Like he said, it was instilled in me about the respect factor. But I don't know. I see people that want to be friends with their kids. I'm not going to be your friend. Now, as far as having a discussion or sitting there shooting the breeze or whatever the case may be, that might be fine. But then you still have to have respect. And I think that's what we talked about that too. I think the respect has left. Like I said, that young man was going in there just cursing and doing all that. Man, you couldn't catch me walking and cussing in front of no elder or someone older than I was. Man, you boy, please. And a lot of us, like, we rode to school, before everybody got vehicles, we rode we rode school buses, and what I mean, and like they said, when they said, and I really didn't get to understand that, and being honest, until I got grown with the term, it takes a village to raise a child. I never understood it until I got much older. I'm talking about I was much older, maybe late 30s. Not maybe like a little, maybe like early 30s, mid 30s. Then I understood the term, what that mean by a village. It take a village to raise a kid.
Yep.
That's because then you was raising your own.
Well, yeah, that's
exactly.
true. Yeah,
you was
that's
raising
true.
your own then.
Yeah, I mean, but and then and now I get. I mean, of course, I really get the concept of it, but that means, and I think that's where goes back to, and not to try to switch it back again, but I think it comes back to the term of who do we, as how you asked us what the solution is and things, Leslie, and I think I explained the other day that I said we have that representative for us as a race, like we had years ago. That, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, even if people didn't agree, you had Martin Luther King back in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. You know what I'm saying? You had Malcolm X, even if they agree with him or not. You know what I mean? He still was an influencer. But who do we have now as influencers to even if somebody was thinking about looking at that person? You know what I mean? Who do we have now? Or kids, or someone that can catch the youth's attention.
You got to look to the arts, I guess. But sometimes, I don't know.
And the point I'm trying to make about like that, because I think I know, rappers, reality shows, YouTube, you know what I mean? Certain television show. Me and my mom was watching TV today. And it was funny. And my mom she's a no filter, none, zero. Leslie, none, zero. When I say zero, zero, no filter. But she say, well, God, and excuse my expression, she said, God damn. She said, they just say all kind of curse words on TV now, huh? Regular television.
That's
you
right.
would have to go to cable to hear curse words.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Or VHS tape or something. Now it's so fluent. If it ain't sex, it's about cursing and
showing nudity,
booty dancing, and I'm like, the influence is around, man. That's what he said, and we were stating. It's so much distractions around them, man. Like, how can we get back grip onto them, man? And and really, we don't have no major influences in our society as far as women or men in certain aspects. I'm talking about like someone that everyone looks up to, or television. I mean, we had this corny as this sounds, Sesame Street. We had, hell, if you want to say Mr. Rogers, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, even when you were young, you had those. You don't have those type of shows no more. Hell, even cartoons is violent.
Yes. And sexual and perverted sex.
Yeah, perverted. I mean, it's so much perversion that comes around when it comes to, perverted. And I mean, SpongeBob on there humping on somebody,
right.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, it's a hard. That's hard, because it's like you could talk to your child, but how much after they leave, how much of it is instilled in them to know that this is wrong on the outside, regardless of how much you speak?
You got to talk again. You got to talk to them. There are times that I've watched a movie with my guys, and it might come into a nudity scene, male nudity. Two people in the bed. What I do, I turn my head, cover my eyes, don't look at it. Okay, out of respect for them. If they weren't there, I'll watch it if I choose to. Not that it's pornography, but see, I have a different relationship with my children. We talk about what they call birds and the bees and the this, that, and the other, because that's how I was raised. There was no such thing. My mother said, I want to make sure you don't think you can sit on a toilet seat and get pregnant. This is how it's done. This, and then you always have that aunt who will tell you that the mechanics of what you're doing and what what women do at that time. So we have to have those conversations and not leave it up to the school to teach our children, because my kids grade school, they're teaching them about same-sex this, that. I said,
yeah, right. You took the words out of my mouth, Leslie. Oh my God.
I said, we believe in the good book over here. That's the same good book that was good for my father and his father, et cetera, et cetera. I said, I don't care what they tell you in school. This is where we live. I'm not gonna, because they tell me I'm not politically correct. No, I'm looking at someone that looks like a man. I am not gonna say that's a woman. I'm a woman. And how many of our people fought and died just to be considered a woman or a man? Remember the signs you see, those history signs with what's his name? Jesse Jackson. I am a man. Those kind of signs.
Right.
And I'm gonna let you just come over here and think you're just as good as me? No, I don't think so. It won't happen. Not on my watch. And if God didn't come back, the Creator didn't let us know that that's okay. That's how it is. But that's what I tell my children. What they do is what they do, based upon their age group. But in this house, on my watch, nope. Not that I have. I'm not going against people, but there are rules that just have to be followed, and or have to be shown to the children. That's when I would speak up. Other stuff, I'm not worried about that. But anyhow, I'm gonna sit down because I think I talked.
No, you're fine.
Because I was listening.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been on here, and I know I've helped everybody, but Brother Green, I really appreciate him coming on. Like I said, I didn't mean to stay on this long. I was just gonna do it for a few minutes, but the conversation got so good.
Yeah.
And then my boy over here dropping them nuggets, man. I couldn't help but stay on.
I wish you would come back again.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure I will.
Okay.
What I do have a desire for, or whatever it is that I'm doing or speaking, is inside of a solution. We need to determine how we can fund the solution. Because we have the heart to do it, but may not necessarily have the funds to carry it out.
Okay.
And so while we're having these discussions, because we're talking about, life events, things that's happening, we need to think about how we're gonna fund it. Because right now, it's people can't even eat these days. They got food banks all around this camp here in Houston. I seen one at Madison High School today. That the food bank is there. So there's a lot more stuff out here than we know. And that would just be my.
Go ahead, brother. I'm gonna tell you something. Me and Eric was talking. Huh?
It's already on you. Let it out.
I'm sorry, man. No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it was something when you mentioned that. So me and Erica was talking today, and we noticed here in Florida, this is the craziest thing. We see homeless people around, right? In the past 7 years, we've seen maybe 3, and Erica can vouch for this. 3 dogs, and they were with their owner in the street. So you know how you go around certain cities, you see home, like you see stray dogs, not here. Not here. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Are y'all having more kennels and places for lost dogs than you have for human beings?
Mm-hmm.
That blew me away, man. I'm like, wait a minute. If you can find funding for that, I know you can find funding to put somewhere, put people that are homeless or less fortunate.
Good point.
What Shaq, from the human standpoint, you're right on it. But the people that have money don't care about the homeless people.
No,
they care
I
about
agree.
dogs.
I agree.
They care about the dogs. They care about the animals. So they make a kennel or a shelter for an animal before they make it for a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And although these nonprofits are out here doing good deeds, but they're based on their agenda and what they want to do. And it usually don't have anything to do with clearing up homelessness of a human being, because they make money from it. They make money from them being homeless.
Make money
There's
from incarceration.
There's not a grant you can get if you're not solving a problem. And you don't necessarily have to solve the problem.
It's designed that way.
It's designed that way.
Oh my!
So even with the young brothers now are acting as if they have a mental issue. Here, they can go to MHRA and act like they crazy and get a check. And so you get a check for $200 to $300 every month, but then you can't own a house, you can't own a car, and you can't have no more than $1,000 in your bank account. Well, you set yourself up for even more poverty.
Yeah, I agree.
And MHRA is a government entity, and how they get their money is by supplying the needs of these guys coming that need a check. That's how the entity get paid. That's how they get their grant money. So even with food stamps, if people didn't need food stamps, it would be no reason for the government to give that source.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So we ain't really fixing stuff. When we go to war, we're going to war because somebody needs some money.
Yeah.
We ain't going to war because we're trying to save something, to fulfill something. We're going to war because somebody needs money.
This is spoken like men that neither one of you went into the military.
No, I didn't go in the military.
See?
My aunt spent 29 years. She was enough for me.
And my dad was military.
Yep.
I had uncles who was in there as well.
They were drafted.
Yeah. And so let me throw a nugget. I'm gonna get off of here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna talk about politics a little bit.
Why
I believe that is important. I look at politics not for what we're gonna be able to get. I look at politics how we're gonna be able to play defense. Politics for me is defense. It's not. We'll never be able to get, ideally, I believe, what we want out of politics, because financially, even as a group, we don't have enough bread to get on the offensive side of it.
It is designed that way.
Yeah. Why is it important to know about these things that's inside of politics? Mr. Trump, they passed a legislation law in New Jersey. Mr. Trump's golf course is in New Jersey. The legislation law says that if you bury anybody on your land, you can redeem it as a cemetery.
What?
Mr. Trump buried his ex-wife on the first hole in his golf course. Now his golf course is considered a cemetery, not a golf course. What does that mean? He paid no property taxes, no sale taxes.
Mhm.
Nobody can sue him for the land.
Wow.
So I'm saying all that to say this. That's why it's important for us to be involved and know. That's why. When they make laws to fit them, for them.
Yep. No, they read it and they use it because they put themselves in predicaments, in situations
Yeah.
that they can finagle and finesse the wording, the words to suit their needs.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But we have to create, like you say, a design something, and then okay, let's see what's going on. Or is it,
Play their game.
play the game? What
Play
did I
their game.
what did I
It's their
say
game.
earlier?
They put the law.
So you
We don't have
understand
that
what I'm
power.
saying, Mr. Green? You understand what I'm saying when I said the street is in politics? That's a street game right there.
But yes, it is. But being from the hood,
There you go.
being from the hood, and then talking about street politics, the hood politics, that's a whole. So we ain't even over here.
They make
Yeah,
it
we
sound
ain't even involved. We just waiting on the folks to tell us what to do and find out we don't like it.
wait, you'll see. You'll see. They call it something else when you got that much power. Okay, and in Congress, for example, they got a
I agree.
different
I'm
name.
not disagreeing with you, but
Yeah,
I'm just
okay, we
looking
saying
at
the
us
same
being
thing,
in the hood.
right?
Yeah,
We
I'm just
say the
looking at us
same
being in the
thing.
hood. We have no clue what these folks doing over here that's making these laws.
But
We
you know
have no
why?
clue.
Because we stay in the same spot. Because if you're in Texas, you got your state legislatures who went to Washington D.C. and I tip my hat to those people because they protested what your Governor Abbott was getting ready to do
Oh Lord Jesus.
during that election time. Okay, so I have much respect for your Texas politician. And besides, who is it? Barbara Jordan. You know, we my parents followed politics, so we had to know these names. I tip my hat off to her. And what's her name? Lee.
Sheila Jackson Lee.
There you go.
Yeah,
No
she
jokes.
know she look well on TV, but it's time for her to train some people that she don't want to do because she don't want to give up that bread. So the difference is between the politicians here is that we have no ownership.
Mhm.
In order for us to do anything, we have to depend on those folks with money that's using not us, because we go into the game for ourselves
Mhm.
after we get voted in. You can go to any hood that we've been in, our hood still look the same 30, 40 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Promises, right?
But you know what?
Well,
But speaking on that, Green, because when I was in Houston in June, I just noticed that they're, what they call it, genocide. What they call it, baby? What they call it?
gentrification.
Gentrification. That's
Yeah,
right.
and they're in their way, because I know they did it. They was doing it in Chicago. I was watching when I was in Chicago, and then I saw it in Houston, and I'm like, oh wow.
It's all over, and you know what that is all about. When you have gentrification, and I was just having this conversation with my son. I said, "Yeah, you see some, and we come from a mixed neighborhood, but I'm seeing predominantly white, early 20s, maybe late teens, moving into the neighborhood. Maybe they're going to school around here somewhere or whatever. And they have green hair, blue hair, pink hair, rings all up and down their nose. Maybe they're not in school, but there's some slinging going on around. It wasn't there before. That's gentrification. When you have gentrification, next thing you know, the drugs are coming into the neighborhood for us to move out.
Yeah.
No, do you follow what I'm saying, Mr. Green? If y'all look
I,
at,
I do, but I have a different approach to it,
okay,
and the reason being is that we, what is our accountability of that?
Mm.
And we only call it gentrification because somebody else came in there, either bought the land or built on the land that we didn't see as value.
Mm.
I don't think so, brother. Not in all cases.
Well, you convinced me otherwise.
What happens is some what do you call those backdoor deals that are made. By the time you find that all you had to do is pay taxes, there's places where
We
places
had the same opportunity to do that,
yeah, but you don't know until afterwards. But there are people
but
on the
that's
inside.
business. That's not their fault. For us,
No, 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 no. It's
that's
not
not our
legit.
fault.
It's when you're dealing with the same system that has the whole list of properties that are going up for foreclosure. People might owe a
We're not
thousand
in it,
dollars worth of
so
taxes.
we're not interested in knowing that. We
No,
don't want that. We want a new house.
well, no, I don't know anything about that. I'm just talking about just a roof over your head. There's some very nice, fine-looking houses. The tax
It,
might be
it,
$1,000. Somebody on the inside before it hits
you're
that paper.
correct, but they're not giving information away like that.
No, they're
If
not
you're
giving
not
it. That's
speaking
my
it,
point. That's my point. Listen
I'm
to
a
me.
business person. I'm not giving it to you neither.
Okay, I'm going to throw back your politics. When Donald Trump was the president, who was the guy who was in charge of the Department of Treasury? What was his name? Mnuchin, right? Mr.
Okay.
Mnuchin. How did he make his millions? Off of our grief foreclosures. Buy up those things cents on a dollar. Became wealthy off of our misery.
So
Now-
so so
And that's who's easing it back out into the
so
system.
it's trickling down. However, we're not getting the information, or we don't want the information. It still takes us. What is our responsibility in it?
All right. Now I just spoke to my girlfriend in Florida, and so she was what you're just saying, where you want to get on and you want to get a HUD house or whatever, and the person, the broker said to her, "Well, it's going to be a lot of paperwork." All right, I'm
It
not afraid
is.
of
She ain't
paperwork.
lying.
No, it's a lot of. She wasn't worried, but guess what? The paperwork never came. The house is to somebody else. See, that's we get the paperwork.
So what we do, we end up talking to one person and we quit.
No, she talked to many people.
You got to keep on going.
She is. That's why we was. That's
Yeah,
why we were
yeah.
discussing. Look, what's next? Where we going? Okay, she looking at me.
Because there's information out there on tax overages.
Now, if you're talking about where you're from in the Houston area, what you might want to look at the places that were affected by that that flooding, places affected by the climate change, and go see how much there were. Now,
You know what? I just want to throw my little 2 cents in this one. Now
mhm.
you know what else I've seen also in the hood as we speak, that you got kids that go that they're the grandmothers or the mothers leave these homes and they pass away. They get these homes. Now you got someone to come in there and say, hey, the house, the house probably, you thinking that, okay, like Green, you know about the around TSU, even off of Scott, off of those areas, that those are becoming, more because it's convenient and it's closer to downtown, the medical center, and everything else.
The real estate is high in those areas.
Yeah. So now you turn around and you go off with a kid. He done probably turned it into a trap house, and they say, "Well, I'll give you $20,000 for it." They jump up, they take the money. Well, now they go in there and you think about if they go buy 3 of those or 4 of those. You know what I'm saying? They're more or less looking for the land. They're not even looking for the house because the house probably ain't worth $2.
And they go build a triplex on it and
That's
sell
right.
it for $500,000.
And that's
Exactly.
why they
That's
do
what.
the same thing in Michigan with my family's house. They're buying all up and trying to do it and stuff. And our family house is run down and stuff. It needs to be, tore down and stuff. But it's worth more once you leave the house up on it.
Yep.
And
The
they try to offer you money, but it's not worth anything. I mean, like for us to sell it to us, it's ours. It's our for our family.
right, right. And
We ain't
that's
But
selling.
it,
Everybody else sold out in the neighborhood and stuff, but we ain't.
well, like I said, when I first came on, I said working the land, taking up land. This is just me. It's just it's part of my personality too. I like to see things grow. I did see one video. If you get a chance, it's on the YouTube where this woman from China, she was in an arranged marriage about 30 something years ago, and she met her husband. He lived in the desert in China, and he lived in a hut in the desert with his family, and there was no grass, there's no trees, nothing. So she'd have to walk to the village to get water, to bring it to, I mean, of course they had a well, but she still had to walk to get whatever supplies she needed to the village. Long story short, it took this woman within 30 years to build a beautiful forest. She planted grass, and she watered it by hand. She brought in certain, trial and error. She started planting trees. Now, the government likes the acres of land that she converted from desert to beautiful forest. But that's 30 years. Look on YouTube and get the full story. That's what people need to see. When you see a vacant lot, grow food. Sell it to the government. Grow, chickens. Why not?
we ain't doing that no more.
No, but the thing of it is big money. Big money. Very
Well,
big money.
they
Feed your family, feed your neighbor.
even farming is different now. They add technology to it.
Right. But
Yeah.
balcony stuff.
Aquaponics, they got a big old aquaponics system.
Yes. Well, look,
That
that's what they're doing in Saudi Arabia. Did you see what they did in Saudi Arabia?
mm-mm.
What you're talking about, aquaponics that they're using? They have three circles, huge circles that have this device that waters this whole three plots, and they tried it, and they're reducing, in that area around the town, they're making it green. It's become green. You could see it from I guess the satellite. That desert arid sand area is now blossoming. There are flowers growing, and it's changing the climate. And if you check on, I mean, I tell the youth, get involved in what's current, like the climate control, solar. Use it, because that's something like your father building that bike, my father building that bike from scratch. You know, something for them to think about. That's just me. I'm a dreamer.
Keep dreaming, because I am too. I put
Yeah,
solar on top of my house.
there you go. I've seen it worked. I've seen it
Yeah.
work, in other countries as well. I've seen it.
So my inspiration is to see the results of what they say is going to happen.
That's right.
And so if it's effective for me, I can vouch for it,
Yeah.
because I am, as we were talking earlier today, I am the one that take the risk. I'm a risk taker.
Well, I believe it, and it can work. They call it in France. One guy does. It's a technique. It's called biotechniques. Biotechnique. How you know f- um propagation of the plants and all. How you just alternate what you grow, and the whole basic husbandry, desalinization of the water, from the ocean. So I dream of that, and I've seen it worked on small scales, and I think if more youngsters and more youth can see how we can how they could become more useful. It doesn't have to always be in, behind a desk. Just get your hands dirty for a little bit. It's all good.
Yeah.
You'd
Hey,
be surprised.
hey,
They want to. But I'm gonna let you good people, continue.
all right, well, we finna get out because I know Bro Green got to get up. So I mean, I appreciate him coming on. Hey, Bro Green, could you do me the pleasure and could you take us out with a prayer, brother?
Please.
Man, you want some of that, man?
Yeah, man, I want some. I want all that. You've been throwing these nuggets out there, man. You got to seal the deal, brother.
Yeah. And tell Brother Chris we'll catch him later.
Yeah.
He's always a pleasure.
Heavenly Father, I just thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for allowing us to come on this panel and give our opinion, give our thoughts. You give us our heart and our mind, our soul. Father, every person that's on here to hear my voice, bless them in such a way that you see fit. You know what we all need. You know our deepest concern. Father, we just thank you for giving Mr. Shackelford the vision, the heart to want to open up and have a discussion that's been prominent on his heart and mind for quite some time. That I pray that you forgive us for those sins that won't allow us to get over the hump and get past. When I know that in your place of who you are, you're going to allow us to rinse and repeat until we master it. So we just thank you on this day that you allow us to congregate, come together and agree on some things. There's plenty of things that our race needs, Father, and we asking you to, while we had this discussion, to give us vision on how we can come up with solutions, Father. There is no one way how you see things to work out. So we're asking upon you to give it to us. And we thank you and we love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Thank you, Brother Green. I appreciate everybody. Man, look here, man. I appreciate everyone. I really, really, truly appreciate you, Brother Green, Sister Leslie. I'm so glad you decided to come on up and give us, because you know we always have a good one. So now we
and thank you, Frankie and Johnny, for holding down the chat.
Yeah,
Frankie and Johnny.
Frankie and Johnny, thank you for holding down the chat, boy. That's that Frankie and Johnny.
Okay. Now, Miss Leslie.
Yes,
Miss
sir.
Leslie.
Yes, sir.
Next time I come on here, I got to see your face.
You mean to tell me I gotta comb my hair and
yeah, you gotta comb your hair. So I gotta show my face. Yeah, I need to see who I'm talking to, because you can't be challenging me. I don't know who challenging me now. It's all good.
From your lips to God's ears.
All right. Well, hey, everybody have a great night. Again, Brother Green, Sister Leslie, Brother Chris, Dion, I appreciate you. Frankie and Johnny, we really appreciate you. I don't care. Like I said, I think the discussion was great. Fantastic. You know, we got a lot of nuggets, we got a lot of wisdom, we got a lot of positivity out of this, and that's what we're headed for. That's our direction. So we want to thank you, and I want to see you come again, brother.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Y'all have a great one.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.